won college football at Syracuse, went on to play NFL football for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He knows when calls come, you have to move on. This was a play early in the third quarter. There was so much football left to play, and from that point on, Babylon, Wayne Morris had lots of opportunities. Harbor shut the door. Babylon got the ball deep inside their own territory, 6 minutes left. We heard Hans Whitaker from House Ass talking about this is the drive that'll dictate. And on that drive, Cold Spring Harbor, they just dominated defensively.
Yeah, they did. And we talked about the penalty call, but however, you can go back and look at the missed extra point. Hal Sass did a terrific production on two-point conversions and extra points before earlier this week, and that is the difference. So despite the penalty call, they still missed the extra point. So going also to Tommy's the 10 most important mistakes in football, not scoring inside of 10 and missing extra points. So there are a lot of factors. So you're right. You can't rely on the one official call to dictate a game.
And, Tommy, so much was spoken about the Babylon Panthers defense, but Cold Spring Harbor, Trevon Rodney, an outstanding junior tailback who, for the most of this game, people were saying, when's he going to break one? They gave him no space to that Seahawk defense.
Let's remember, defense wins championships, and this was a 7-6 ball game. Both defenses rose to the occasion, but the defense that won it was the Cold Spring Harbor defense. A 7-6 victory. Great job by the Seahawks. Congratulations, Terry Ryan.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming once again to the Optimum Online postgame show. Tom Howard and Wayne Morris. What a tremendous display by two 10-0 teams. Babylon Panthers come up a little short, but they've represented Suffolk County well. But in the end, it's the Seahawks of Cold Spring Harbor with their first ever Long Island championship. Tough, physical, rough and tumble affair. They gave both sides of the stadium here, both fans, something to watch, a 7-6 victory. Of course, these Long Island championships are brought to you by the good people of Adelphi. Check them out on the web, www.adelphi.edu, or give them a call, 1-800-ADELPHI, and by Cablevision Local Programming. It's TV that's close to home. So our final score, Cold Spring Harbor 7, Babylon 6. The Seahawks take home the whole enchilada in the year 2001. For Barry Landers, Hal Sass, Tom Howard, and Wayne Morris, I'm Jimmy Cavallo for our entire prime time Cablevision Sports production crew. We'll see you next time on the Game of the Week. It's Cold Spring Harbor in Class 4.
Turn on New York Metro TV.
The thing that we try to instill in our kids is that a lot of times in a game and in life, things don't always go the way you want it to go. I think the most important thing that we try to instill in is the fact that you can't give up. If there's 2 seconds on the clock, if there's 10 seconds on the clock, there's always time enough to score. And I think that's the most important thing.
The guy would have picked it off. Didn't happen, though. Thank goodness the helmets are flying out on the field right now.
Look at this celebration.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
Well, good to see you. Glad to have you aboard. Welcome to Cablevision Sports and our coverage of the 2001 Long Island Championships from Hofstra Stadium. I'm Jimmy Cavallo along with our entire Cablevision Sports gang. And in Class 1, it all comes down to this. On the 10th anniversary of the Long Island Championships, this is the famous final scene for the Farmingdale Dalers out of Nassau County at 9-1. They will take on Suffolk County's William Floyd Colonials, a team perfect at 10-0. An outstanding matchup when you talk about these two teams. Farmingdale Dalers avenge their only loss of the season against Freeport to get here. They are here for the third time in their history, looking for their first victory. When you talk about William Floyd, what more can you say? The prides of Mastic Beach, their first ever Suffolk County Championship, their first undefeated season. They will go for their first ever Long Island Championship. It's been a great week of football. In Class 2, Bellport out of Suffolk County wins their fourth Long Island Championship. In Class 3, Wantagh out of Nassau County wins their first ever Long Island Championship. And in Class 4, Cold Spring Harbor, yes, the Seahawks edge out Babylon 7-6. They win their first ever Long Island Championship, and after 39 contests, Suffolk County leads the overall series 20-19. Only one game separates the two. If Farmingdale finds a way, it's 20-all. Let's talk about this game tonight. When you talk about a big matchup, a championship game, it all starts with the quarterbacks. We have two outstanding ones in the ball game tonight. For Farmingdale, it's the junior, Matt Danowski. He can get it done with his arm and his feet. He'll have a tough task tonight, taking on that William Floyd defense. And there's Henry Ford, the senior for William Floyd. He has been outstanding all along the way for the Colonials, guiding them to a perfect 10-0 season. Mr. Ford and Mr. Danowski, the quarterbacks tonight. Joining me here on the Optimum Online pregame show, the two coaches who took their teams to their respective county finals. Right to my left, that's Russ Ellen, 16-year head coach of the Freeport Red Devils, the defending Long Island Class 1 champs. For about 3 hours, he'll be the defending champs. Good to see you, Russ. And Jim Saladino in his second year as the head coach of the Smithtown Bulls. He, of course, went to the Suffolk County Championship this year, only to fall short against William Floyd. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Russ Ellen, we'll start with you and talk about Matt Danowski. It's been a strange season for Matt Danowski, a good one, but the injuries have come. Game number 8, he got banged up with the separated shoulder against you, now at the ankle. But this is a guy, clearly, Matt Danowski, that if he can get his feet going tonight, he can hit you from a bunch of different angles.
There's no question about it, Jim. Matt Danowski, the thing that he brings to the table is he can create the big play. And I think in a game like this, when you can create a big play and, possibly shorten the field or whatever, I mean, that can only help you. He has the ability to run the option. He can also throw the ball. So Farmingdale's going to have a few options on offense.
And when you talk about this William Floyd Colonials bunch, Jim Saladino, you come in knowing about the big play potential of Chad Rislin and stopping him out of the backfield. And then you have the quarterback, Henry Ford. And you talk about great players. You talk about guys who turn their game up in the postseason. Henry Ford with 4 touchdowns in the postseason, 3 of them coming against Smithtown in the county championship. And, Jim, I know you didn't go into that game expecting Henry Ford to turn up with 3 touchdowns.
No, actually, we didn't, Jim. And he's done a tremendous job all year long. The Patchogue playoff game, he ran all over the place. And obviously against us, 3 touchdowns, quarterback keeps, bootlegs. Again, we basically keyed on Chad, and he did a tremendous job. He can hurt you throwing the ball and running the ball.
When you talk about this William Floyd club and their head coach Paul Longo in his 7th year, they have played an exciting brand of football this year. Yes, undefeated, but it's how they went undefeated. Comeback wins, last-second wins, games that were decided with big plays. This is a team, Jim Saladino, that has a lot of character, a lot of heart.
Oh, without a doubt. Coach Longo has done a tremendous job, him and his staff. The athletes they have are phenomenal. Like I said, as far as their character, coming back against us, coming back and forth against Sachem. They've done a real nice job physically. They're tough kids athletically. They've got some obvious speed with Chad and some of their receivers. And again, they've got some good size. They've done a real nice job this year.
And Henry Ford, their QB, when he gets it going, he's handing the ball off to Chad Rislin. And Jim Saladino, Chad Rislin is a guy I like to refer to as the quiet storm. He's not a guy who's going to chew up big chunks of yardage 5, 6, 7, 8 times a game, but it's the quiet storm because he's quiet. Then the storm comes. He explodes for a big play.
Yes, unfortunately, we witnessed that, in the first game. The second game we played him in the championship game, 157 yards, 1 touchdown. That was pretty adequate for us. The first game, 3 or 4 touchdowns, big runs, 75 yards, 60-yard runs. He's just done a phenomenal job for them.
And we talk about the Farmingdale Dalers. team coming in here at 9-1, and for Buddy Krummenacker, his second trip as the head coach here to the Long Island Championships. Of course, they were here the first year in 1992. That was Diane Snyder's last year at the helm. But for Buddy Krummenacker, we know about the 4 Rutgers Cups as the head coach at Hempstead. Russ Selling, you talk about this team. There's not too many secrets with Farmingdale this year. They might want to spread you out a little bit on the outside, but they're going to come straight at you with Bonagoro straight up the gut.
They're a power football team, and what they like to do is run the football. And if you let them get in that power eye and start to get a push on you, that might be all you see for the whole day.
Yeah, Bonagoro and Albany's just moving it up the middle, and they just want to control the football. But when you talk about Farmingdale, you talk about a big, tough, physical defense. Maybe if there's one area you can look to, you had good success in your Week 8 matchup throwing the football, built up a 14-0 lead. Maybe you can get to that secondary, but it's tough to move them around up front.
There's no question. They're tremendous at stopping the run. That's what they want to do. I think the only way you can possibly have some success is if you stay balanced and you're able to throw the football.
I tell you, Russ, it was one of the bigger surprises for me and some of the media personally. We were here on that night, Week 8, where you jumped out to the big lead and kind of controlled the game. This Farmingdale club showed some character in the conference final to come back and to beat you guys and to turn everything around.
There's no doubt about it. They came ready to play, and they outplayed us in that last week. They did a couple different things. They played some man coverage, which is uncharacteristic of them, and they came out and they did it well, and it kind of frustrated us.
All right, Russ Selling, good to see you. Thank you for being here. The 2000 Long Island champs in Freeport, and Jim Saladino in your second year, an outstanding victory. The victory heard round the world was the first round of the playoffs against Sachem, down 21-0, take it to OT, and find a way in the ball game. Of course, Russ Selling a year ago saw Comac come back late, but found a way to hang on because they were able to stop the 2-point conversion in one of the great games we've seen here at the Long Island Championships. The 2-point conversion, it comes into play here and there. Hal Sass will show you how to get it done when it comes down to the 2-point conversion.
The game of football is really quite simple. Score more points than your opponent, you win the ball game. And what better way to score points than with a touchdown? Cross the white line into the end zone, 6 points on the board. The touchdown. Everybody loves the touchdown. But what about after the touchdown? What about the conversion? Webster's New Riverside Dictionary states the meaning of conversion as a score of extra point or points after a touchdown in football.
Trying to close on him, and he hits the pylon. Touchdown, 47.
Congratulations, Coach. Your club just put 6 points up on the scoreboard. But now it's decision time. Do you place the ball down at the 10-yard line and kick for the 1 point, or do you put it down at the 3 and go for the 2? In the history of the Long Island Football Championships, 6 games have been decided by 1 or 2 points. A missed point after or failed conversion could have proven the difference in these championship games. Let's look back at the 2000 Long Island Class 1 Championship game. Comac trailing by 6 late to Freeport.
Single coverage against Jinx. Granalis looking deep and throwing it for Tournay, who's out there, makes the catch. Touchdown!
Unbelievable catch. He stayed with it the whole time, Barry. Unbelievable. No extra point yet. We still have a tie game. Don't count anybody a winner here.
The missed extra point by Comac sends the game into overtime. In the overtime period, Freeport scored first and kicked the extra point to lead by 7. But Comac answered back with a touchdown of their own, and Coach John Foley decides to go for the 2-point conversion and the win. Every coach has his opinion on the 2-point conversion.
The 2-point conversion we only use when you absolutely have to use it. For example, if you don't have a kicker, A, or B, it's late in the game and you want to catch up because you're down a few points.
As far as I'm concerned, if you make 50% of your twos, it's like making 100% of your ones. But you know something? It's just like finding chocolate when you find a ticket. It's very, very sweet.
At some point during the Long Island Championships, a coach may have to make that crucial decision. Do you kick the extra point, or do you go for a 2-point conversion? Well, I'm glad it's the coach who has to make that decision, but I often wonder, if I was the kicker and it was me, would I be the hero? We're going to overtime, baby! Or the goat ball. No! Jimmy! Oh! Fiddle wants the 2. And this, my friend, is why I'm a broadcaster and not a coach. I'm out of here. Enjoy the games, everybody.
Top High students, take one. Student film 15.
In a time of national tragedy, the Salvation Army has been on the scene from the very beginning. Our disaster relief teams have been providing meals, clothing, emergency supplies, and grief counseling to affected families, individuals, and emergency personnel in New York City. We need your financial help to continue our long-term efforts on behalf of our neighbors in need. Please call 1-800-SAL-ARMY or send a check to the address on your screen. Thank you for caring.
And welcome back to Hofstra, the 10th anniversary of the Long Island Championships. Cablevision Sports has been here all 10 years along the way. Glad to bring you the pictures, the sights, and the sounds. Tonight, it's Class 1. The Farmingdale Dalers out of Nassau County with a record of 9-1, looking for their first ever Long Island Championship, taking on the pride of Mastic Beach, William Floyd, the Colonials, out of Suffolk County at a perfect 10-0. What a season for William Floyd. When you talk about a big ball game like this, if you're a fan of one of these two teams, you're saying tonight, boy, I hope our players play well. I hope our running backs come out of the gate, make some plays, get into the secondary, take it to the house. For Farmingdale, of course, you're talking about Robbie Bonagoro, you're talking about Matt Albanese, and for William Floyd, you're talking about Chad Rislin. We've seen all kinds of running backs come through Hofstra here on championship weekend. Let's take a look at some of the prime time feature backs. And hopefully for your team, they're going to come through. We're talking about a guy like Brian Daniels of Southside. Oh, the Cyclone was unstoppable. 1,200 yards in his last 4 games. Give him a step and he's gone. Brian Daniels, what an outstanding career he had for the Cyclones. How about Greg Pizer of Cold Spring Harbor? He led the Seahawks to the Long Island Championship. Tough, hard-nosed, inside guy. He can go outside, he can go inside. How about Trevon Rodney, the junior? What a season he had for the undefeated Panthers. He can run around and through you. Trevon Rodney is coming back for another year. And a guy you'll see tonight, number 39 in your program, Chad Rislin of the William Floyd Colonials. Oh, man, the playmaker, Super Chad Rislin, a 4-4 burner. Give him a step, he's gone. Talk about separation speed. He will put you in your rear view mirror. Mr. Chad Rislin of the William Floyd Colonials, some of the super running backs running wild in this ball game. Let's bring in our 2 primetime analysts. You've seen them all year long here on the Cablevision Sports Game of the Week here on championship weekend. I'm talking about Tommy Howard and Wayne Morris. Good to see you, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Woo! Well, are you ready for this? Class 1. This is the big dogs come out tonight, Farmingdale and William Floyd. And for Tom Howard, of course, you are the Farmingdale AD, so some nerves in the stomach tonight for you, but I know you'll get through it. 2-time Rutgers Cup winner yourself at Bayshore. And you talk about this game tonight, Tommy. Farmingdale, we had Russ Selling on here a moment ago. I mentioned we were here for the Freeport game, first time around, week number 8. Farmingdale was outplayed. We left here that night saying, not going to be the year for Farmingdale. Give these guys credit. Buddy Krumanacker, his squad, got up off the deck. They have found a way to get here. They are rock solid.
They certainly are. And let me say right off the bat that I am the AD from Farmingdale, but I'm a Cablevision announcer first. When you talk about Farmingdale, though, you talk about tradition. Great football tradition. They've had, so far, 9 undefeated seasons. They've had 32 championship seasons over the years. They've had Thorpe Award winners, Martone Award winners, an unscored-upon team, a #1 ranking in New York State, and a 10th ranking in the nation over the years with Farmingdale, but they've never had a Long Island championship. Buddy Krumanacker needs one, and they're looking for one. They're primed for today.
You know, when the PowerPoint system came in 1983-84, it meant only 4 teams out of each division were going to go to the playoffs. That is a tough task to be one of the top 4, but Farmingdale found a way, Tommy Howard, and once they got into the playoffs this year, they took care of business, and they are at the Long Island Championships.
They certainly are. They had a real big playoff route. They were able to come by, and we can talk about in a second the road to the playoffs. They were able to come up and step up big against an Elmont football team. After they knocked off Elmont, they were able to take on that Freeport football team, and it was all defense. You see the shutout and then the 6-0 win, 13-6 win. That was the biggest turnaround I've ever seen in championship football, and they did it with their defense. Guys like Randy Earl, Yinka Bosetti, Robbie Bonagoro, and Matty Albanese.
Yeah, what an outstanding ride, and they find themselves here in the championship game. And when you talk about, Farmingdale, there's really not too many secrets. Matt Danowski's not going to throw the ball too much. They're going to want to go straight up the gut. And you talk about Rob Bonagoro. He wears the captain insignia for this team for a reason. This guy leads by example. He can really run hard, Robbie Bonagoro.
He certainly can. He's an athlete. He's the type of guy who can get through the line of scrimmage. You can see only 576 yards rushing. That's a 5.6 average, but all the backs in Farmingdale have about 500 yards. He's the captain of the team. He's a great lacrosse player. He's an athlete, and he makes things happen for that team. Against Freeport, he had a tremendous game. 22 rushes, 130 yards. That's a 6.0 average. He didn't have the touchdowns. Big Bad Albany's did, but he set the touchdowns up, and he's the type of guy who can make sure that you win, not only on offense, but also on defense.
Wayne Morris, when we talk about the Long Island Championships, many years we talk about teams who are highly decorated, 3, 4 county titles, multiple Long Island Championships. Not the case for William Floyd, and that is why it's so special for Paul Longo in his 7th year. Their first undefeated season, their first Suffolk County Championship. They have stepped to the plate each week and found a way to win every single game, sometimes in spectacular fashion, sometimes just going right through opponents. Bottom line, in Mastic Beach, it was a special football season.
Oh, they had a tremendous time out there this year in Mastic Beach. It's way out there on the island, but they have played exciting football. 5 fourth-quarter comebacks in the regular season gained them the number 1 seed, and they did it with tremendous offense and a defense that played well enough to win. But the defense has been playing outstanding football here in the playoffs so far.
When you talk about in sports about teams having just a tremendous regular season, Floyd comes in at 8-0. You think about teams like the Seattle Mariners this year, set all kinds of records for wins. Then they got to the playoffs, only let their fans down. Wayne Morris, when you talk about the road to the top of the William Floyd Colonials, they did not let anybody down in the playoffs.
No, absolutely not. The road to the top was a lot easier than the regular season. They had a close first half against Pat Med, but wound up pulling away 32-14. And then last week they beat a tough Smithtown team 28-8. But however, this one was early over. They were up 21-0, and Henry Ford, quarterback, keyed the victory with 3 touchdowns.
It's amazing when you talk about a player like Chad Rislin. I mean, so many times we talk about players who put up big numbers with touchdowns and yardage and all along the way, the primetime guys. And Chad Rislin has been just that for the William Floyd Colonials. But when you look at their schedule, they've had 3 or 4 games along the way where they stared into the abyss. It's the type of big play he makes, Wayne Morris. This guy's a clutch player.
Oh, absolutely. You can make big plays, but the key is when do you make those big plays? Take the first playoff game against Pat Med. He comes out, he was injured in the first half. He didn't even know he was going to play in the second half. Comes out, returns the kickoff for a touchdown to spark the scoring. 3 kickoff returns on the year, 25 TDs, over 1,600 yards. He's a Hanson Award candidate. And you mentioned the 4.4 speed. He's a little guy, only 5'10", 165 pounds, but he's got a big heart and he runs hard.
So this is it, Class 1 tonight, the Farmingdale Dalers and Tommy Howard. Just quickly on Buddy Krummenacker, we know about all the titles at Hempstead. They've been here twice, come up a little short. This is a big opportunity for the Dalers tonight. I'm sure they're looking forward to it. You've been in the hallways all week long.
They certainly are. They're ready. They're ready to go. They have the team to do it. But you know something, coaches always look for signs. They look for something special. You know something, these are the signs. No matter how you got to Hofstra today, whether you took the Meadowbrook, the Sunken Meadow, the Southern State, if you came from William Floyd and you took the Sunrise Highway, no matter how you got here, you passed the road signs. They were all Dale or Green. Buddy Krummenacker like that.
Yeah, you got to talk about championship football. And Wayne Morris, finally with you, we have 2 contrasts of styles here. You have a Farmingdale team wants to play smash mouth, wants to just kind of go right at you. Then you have William Floyd. They come at you from every different angle. They return kicks for touchdowns, punts for touchdowns, get big pass plays, big run plays. Something has to give here when you talk about the Dalers taking on the Colonials tonight in these 2 different styles.
Absolutely right. You know, I was sitting there talking with the Smithtown assistant coach, and he said, wow, Farmingdale, they got some big guys out there. So they're not used to seeing some of these big guys that Farmingdale has. You know, we mentioned Randy Earl, Yinky Bosede, but Smithtown has the speed, and they're able to throw the football, and that may be their advantage, to their speed and ability maybe to take advantage of a secondary from Farmingdale. And I think what's important for William Floyd's defense is to stop Farmingdale on first down, get them out of that short yardage situation, and force them to throw the football.
It's amazing what parity we've seen here in Long Island, the Long Island Championships, 2019 Suffolk Leagues. And Tommy Howard, you talk about this year, 2001, Bellport and Southside. Southside leads at the half. Bellport finds a way. Close game. Wantagh, Harborfields tied in the second half into the fourth quarter. Wantagh finds a way. Cold Spring Harbor and Babylon, 7-6 game. But it's these tight games little close games where you look in the microscope and one mistake can be the difference.
One play can change the whole game around. And I have something called the 10 most important mistakes in football. It's my belief that great coaches are great teachers, and you can go back in the classroom the Monday after the game and show teams why they lost the football game. And you know something? Guys, when it comes to championship football games, you just can't afford to make these mistakes. Coaching football is the greatest job in the world. It gives you the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. But it also allows you to teach young people that goal setting, hard work, discipline, and perseverance are the keys to a successful life. You know, it's funny, but most people think that winning and losing football games take place right here on the football field. But coaches know differently. They know that it's physical conditioning, it's mental preparation, it's detailed game plans. It's a little bit of luck even that helps you win and lose football games. I guess Yogi said it best. He said the game is 85% physical and 50% mental. Well, it's my belief that 50% mental is a really important thing, especially in championship football. Let's talk about the 10 most important mistakes in football. The first mistake is not losing the ball by fumbling. A good example of this is the Class II championship game, the year 2000. North Babylon loses to Garden City 20-13 and fumbles the ball 3 times. Very uncharacteristic of Terry Manning's Bulldogs. The second mistake is not being penalized. Penalties kill drives, penalties kill you in football games. When you look back on penalties, they could be the disaster, the difference between winning and losing. 1996, Bellport commits 2 penalties in the final 46 seconds, allows Levittown Division to score 10 points in that span. On the final play of the game, Levittown Division kicks a field goal and wins the game 31-29 because of a late hit penalty that Bellport had to play before. Mistake number 3 is not allowing a long run. The suit angles cut down long runs. Long runs can kill you. If you look at the stats at the end of the game, if you allow long runs, you're not going to win the game. Mistake number 4 is not allowing a long touchdown pass. Just ask Bill Cherry, the coach of the Manhasset Indians. In 1994, his Indians lost a 6-0 ball game to Harborfield. Chris Pribble scored a 60-yard touchdown pass in that game, the game's only score. Mistake number 5 is not having a pass intercepted. Just talk to Garden City's Tom Flatley about this. The 1999 Class III championship, Garden City had a lock on the game with less than 2 minutes to go, and they put the ball up. Max Rose intercepted it for Amityville, brought it back 48 yards to the 6-yard line. 3 plays later, Amityville scored for 18-16 victory over Garden City. Mistake number 6 is missing an extra point. 2 key ones in the 2000 Class Championship. Class 1, Eddie Gordon, big hit, stops Mike Perhalis on an extra point to win the game. Also, Bethpage comes back and beats Amityville. Amityville misses their 2-point conversion and loses the game 29-28 to the Bethpage Golden Eagles. Mistake number 7 is a mistake in the kicking game. Go back to last year's Class 1 championship and you find out that Comac decides to go for it on the very first series of the game. They have a fake punt. They don't make it. Freeport goes on to score early in the game, get a 7-0 lead, taking the ball from the 26-yard line. That is the difference in the game. It goes to overtime and Freeport wins. Mistake number 8 is making a bad snap. 1992, Bellport, Garden City. Garden City snaps the ball into their own end zone, causing a safety. Bellport goes on to win that game 8-6. The safety is the difference in the game. Mistake number 9 is not scoring when inside the opponent's 10-yard line. Once you get inside the opponent's 10-yard line, you can't not fail to score. You have to put the ball in the end zone. You may never get down there again. There's no key answers to this in the Long Island Championship game, but you can go back to 1992. The game was Lynbrook playing Roosevelt. Roosevelt has the ball first and goal on the 2-yard line, and Lynbrook holds him for 4 downs, wins the game in overtime, and goes to the first ever Long Island Championship game where they defeat Islip by a score of 19-6. Mistake number 10, the last mistake, is allowing a kickoff or punt return for a touchdown. You just can't have this happen to you. One of the worst things in football is to take the ball and drive it down the length of the field, score in 5 or 6 minutes, only to have the ensuing kickoff return for a touchdown against you. Or punting the ball, trying to put somebody in bad field position and have them return it for a touchdown. While this has never happened in a Long Island Championship game, look out, because this could be the year that it does happen. With the 10 most important mistakes in football, I realize a lot of this may be negative talk. I'm not a negative person. I'm a very positive person. But my belief, my philosophy, is that great coaches are great teachers. And good teams learn from their mistakes. You can bring a team in and teach this on the board so they don't ever make it again. But great teams learn from other people's mistakes. Learn from another person's mistake. Don't make it in your game. Good luck in the Long Island Championships this weekend, guys.
Yeah, he sounds like a coach, does he not? Tom Howard, 2-time Rutgers Cup winner with Bayshore in 83-84. I hear there's an opening in South Bend, Tommy Howard. What do you think, Fighting Irish? You look good in green, too, buddy. But finally, Wayne Morris, when you talk about mistakes in a football game, Can a player, you've been in game situations many times, championship situations, just knowing the situation, the mental preparation for a player, can that help avoid the big mistake?
Absolutely. Preparation is very important. If you're prepared and go over certain situations in your mind, then you're able to handle them and handle adversity when it occurs. And being prepared also allows you to play at full speed to the maximum of your ability.
And that's really a key. And you have to make sure, especially in the kicking game, I think today the kicking game could end up being a big part of this championship football game. Greg Sarapri said it best. The F train stops here at Hempstead. Farmingdale, Floyd, you have fortune and failure. Fantastic finish. I think it's going to be fun football for everyone.
Forget about it, baby. Tommy Howard right there and Wayne Morris. They'll go upstairs and join the voice of the Long Island Championships. Good to see you guys. Barry Landers is standing by upstairs. Hal Sass is on the field. So in Class 1 in the year 2001, it all comes down to this. There is no tomorrow for the Dalers. There is no tomorrow for the Colonials. A 10-0 team, a 9-1 team. Only one will call themselves the Long Island Champs for the year 2001. Come on back. The start of the game is next, right here on Cablevision Sports.
Hello, I am the SLA 3000. I function as CEO of Compudom. Back in the year 2001, Compudom installed LightPath's voice, data, and internet services, enabling me to evolve. Today, with the help of LightPath's fiber optic communications network, Compudom is able to dominate the market. Ha ha. Thanks, LightPath.
7 of last year's Suffolk County Wrestling Champions, the last 3 Hanson Award winners, 10 out of the last 20 Long Island Football Championship teams, Briarcliff College, Dowling College, professional baseball players Neil Heaton, Keith Osick, Rob Grable. What do they all have in common? Elite Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation. We build and heal champions. Elite Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation, Suffolk's complete sports and sports medicine resource.
Tonight's championship game is brought to you by Adelphi University. Check them out at www.adelphi.edu. And by Cablevision Local Programming, TV that's close to home. Barry Landers along with Tom Howard, Wayne Morris, Jimmy Cavallo here at Hofstra on a beautiful evening as we get set to go for the Long Island Class 1 Championship. The Farmingdale Dalers 9-1 against the undefeated William Floyd Colonials with a record of 10-0. Let's go down to the field as we welcome in Hal Sass.
Thanks very much, Barry. You know, for Buddy Krumenacker and the Dalers of Farmingdale, 9-1 record. The loss coming in the last regular season game to the defending Class 1 champs, the Freeport Red Devils. That was just a blip on the radar screen. They would come back 2 weeks later and defeat them to win the Nassau County Championship. And the way they did it basically was shorten the playbook. They went to plays that will work. Let's talk about what's going to have to work for them today as we take a look at the keys for Farmingdale in today's contest. The first thing is field position. They need to have good field position. They're not the kind of team that is going to run 75-yard, 80-yard plays. It's not something they're going to do. They need to contain Chad Rislin. One of the things they're going to do with that is definitely kick the ball away from him. He's so dangerous, especially on punt and kick returns, and they need to dominate the line of scrimmage. And one other note, really, Matt Danowski, the quarterback, has an ankle injury. He did not practice until Thursday of this week, so we'll have to see how that ankle is for Farmingdale. And the Dale is on the other side for Paul Longo in his 7th year for the William Floyd Colonials. This is a team that knows how to put points up on the board. The least amount of points they scored this year in a game was 20 against Patchogue, but defensively, they can give points up. Their keys today is Chad Rislin. Every game they've gotten 1 or 2 big plays out of him. They're going to need that tonight. Secondly, stop the running game. They know they have a small defensive line, and Farmingdale is just going to attack you. They're going to play power football. And third, special teams. They feel very confident about their kicking game. One last thing Paul Longo did say is, don't be surprised if you see them go to the air early in the game to try to open up the running game. Back upstairs.
All right, Hal.
And you know something, you talk about those special teams. Bernie Gamble used to be Paul Longo's coach at St. John the Baptist back in the 80s. He is a special team fanatic. You got to be careful of those special teams, especially when you have an attack man like Rislin back there.
Well, we've got a great crowd forming here on a beautiful evening here at Hofstra as we welcome you to what should be a terrific football game. Farmingdale, of course, has had some experience. They were here back in '99. Some of these players remember that game losing to Brentwood and Eddie Lobo and company 13-6.
Well, you had guys like Bonagoro here. You had guys like Randy Earl back here, Yinka Bassetti. Those are the guys now who are bringing these young Farmingdale kids around, and they're ready to play football, but so are the Colonials from William Floyd.
Well, first time in 43 years that they have won a championship. And we've got a great crew led by Craig Marshall, and Roy Levin is our umpire, the linesman Dominic Scaduto, the line judge Ed McCloskey, and the back judge is John Kay. So a beautiful night for what should be, Wayne Morris, a terrific football game.
Yeah, absolute beautiful weather. Weather's not going to be a factor. No wind, no rain. And, you know, William Floyd's got a huge crowd out here. I mean, they're coming from a long ways, but they're here to see their Colonials in their first Long Island Championship.
They get great support from that community out at Mastic Beach. And we're just about moments away from the start of tonight's game. Farmingdale will be getting the football as William Floyd will be kicking off. And Ryan Korn has got a great foot should this game come down. As you watch Danny Sion, number 2, getting ready to receive the kick along with Bradley. And this kick will come downfield and will be taken by Bradley, the speedster, to the 20. And Bradley will be down as he got to the 21-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Farmingdale Dalers. Tackle made by James Alisi. And we'll set them for you. Matt Danowski coming back from the separated shoulder, question mark about an ankle injury that has slowed him in the playoffs, Tom.
Yeah, and Matt went out with a shoulder dislocation in the Freeport one game, the last week of the season, the 8th week of the season. Then he got his ankle banged up last week in the Freeport 2 game in the semifinal or finals of the Nassau County Championship. So he is banged up, but he's a trooper. He's out there ready to go.
Coming out in that power I formation, Bradley is the tailback. He'll get the first call here. And Bradley scurries his way to the 27-yard line before Vinny Mione brought him down. Let's take a look at this Farmingdale team because they're a basic team. We talked about Matt Danowski, and his numbers have been impressive all year, running and throwing the football. And there's a look at Matt. Pretty impressive numbers.
And you can see Matt, he's 50% completion rate, 510 yards, 7 TDs, 8 interceptions, but the interceptions are deceiving. He threw 2 interceptions in the last play of the half just trying to put the ball up, and 2 were off receiver's hands, so it's not as bad as it may look.
Rob Bonagoro replaces Bradley as the tailback. Bonagoro trying to pick up the first down. He'll be stopped as he crossed the 30-yard line by Rob McLaughlin, setting up 3rd and short. Let's take a look at the rest of the Farmingdale Dalers.
Well, the offensive line that we just saw trying to crush those big guys from William Floyd right there is the key. Matty Williams, big 310 pounds, Drew Kane, Scotty Gale, that is, Tommy Hind, and Yinka Bossetti, 6'5", 240-pound Yinka Bossetti. Robbie Bonagoro, Randy Earl, the big all-world Randy Earl, Matty Albanese, another stud, Presti and Scicandi, Will Presti, a great end, an 11th grader.
Bonagoro trying to pick up the first down on 3rd and less than a yard. Looks like he did not get it. Let's see, they'll mark it. Good forward progress here.
Yeah, I think he got it. I think they're going to, the spot that they're coming on is going to give them the first down. The chains are already being moved, Barry, and Farmingdale succeeded there. Go ahead, Wayne.
And William Floyd, that defensive line is going to have to come up big. Alisi, Quantra, Neon, Woodhull, and Kilcullen. And the linebackers McLaughlin, Redmond, and Zumpel.
Redmond the key in the middle linebacker spot. We go back to the action on first down, stumbling. Danowski rolling, looking to throw the ball. Throws complete out here to the near side to Rob Bonagoro for about a 5-yard gain, run out by Rob McLaughlin.
And Matty Danowski looks good right there as we watch him round out the rest of the secondary for William Floyd.
And the secondary traditionally is not going to get a lot of work against this Farmingdale team, but they're going to have to be aware. Rislin, Miller, Wells, they're going to have to come up and give a lot of run support.
We just watched Matty Danowski now. He tripped a little coming out, but he was able, his feet looked pretty good. And again, we're concerned about his ankle in the beginning of the show. He was able to move the ball pretty good, and if he can move and run the option, they could be devastated.
Bonagoro's caught 10 passes this year. That was number 11, again out of that power eye. Randy Earl is the big fullback, and behind Earl, Bonagoro will cross the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Scramble for the football there as it squirted free, but it'll still be Farmingdale ball. Stop made by Billy Zumpel, number 57. As you look at Rob Bonagoro, what a great athlete, great lacrosse player as well as a great
He's just an
player.
all-around athlete. He can almost do anything. You put a stick in his hand and he'll go play hockey for you. You put a tennis racket in his hand and he'll play tennis. He's a great lacrosse player. Came up in 8th grade for Farmingdale. Started in the Long Island Championship game and scored a goal against Ward Melville as an 8th grader. He's rounding out his varsity career in football right here at Hopkins, the Long Island Championship.
3rd and less than a yard. Again, Bonagoro is the tailback behind Albanese, the fullback this time. And they go to Bonagor off the left side, and he has the first down, spinning to the 45. Rob McLaughlin again brought him down in his outside linebacker spot.
Early in the game, but I think next third and short, you come up with a fake run, and you just do a pop pass to Will Presty, 11 men, 2 yards off the line of scrimmage. Not honoring Farmingdale's pass, and no reason to honor it because they do pound the ball at you. But Presty has great hands. The big junior, 6 foot, 205-pound junior, is able to catch the ball and go with it. And that, you may want to try to do that on third and short, not necessarily on first.
Well, that's the case in most normal situations, but this is Buddy Krumenacker. He's got the size advantage, and he's going to stay on the ground.
Right now, he's come in with a couple of flankers, Panarelli and Scacandi, flanked wide to the right. Out of the regular I formation, Danowski, the pitch to Bradley, nowhere to go, so he'll put it back beautifully. And look at him still go, the little guy, gets to midfield, and he's brought down on a 5-yard gain. It looked like they were going to be buried that time for a loss on the play. Finally, Ryan Korn from the secondary made the stop.
You know, Gerard Bradley has a great shake and bake move. He alternates with Robbie Bonagoro. They split back and forth, and when one guy gets going, Buddy Krumenacker usually leaves that person in. Gerard starts most games. Robbie doesn't start the game at tailback, but very often he's in there most of the game because of his rump. You see, 5'3", 145 pounds, but he was able to make those moves right there, and really very, very quick.
Excellent balance as well. Right now, Panarelli and Scacandi again in the game. Right up the middle, Danowski, first down and more. Cuts it to the outside and dragged down on the far side. Not before he picked up a first down. Taken down by Mike Kilcullen.
I'm sorry, it looked like there was a face mask that got pulled down by. Referee's right on the play, though. Obviously, it was not a face mask.
And there you see part of the crowd on the sideline. We've got a huge crowd here on this beautiful Saturday evening. Bradley goes out right now, replaced by Bonagora. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Farmingdale taking over, eating up the clock here, early going. Again, the power eye. Earl and Albanese are the blocking backs. And Danowski on first down to throw, looking for Presty and overthrows him as he went deep that time. Closest to the ball was the pass defender, and that was Ryan Korn back there defending.
Will was supposed to run an out route, a flag route. He started going down, and he basically stopped, and he was covered all the way, Wayne.
Yeah, good coverage by the Floyd secondary. You know, good call on first down. You know, you've been running consistently on first down so far here in the first quarter, and you decide to go play action. That's a good play call, but the William Floyd secondary was prepared.
And now it puts them in a long situation, though, because now they've been picking up 3 or 4 yards of play. They have to make a big play on second down.
Bradley and Earl in the backfield. Here's Bradley behind Earl. Bradley with that great speed at the 30 and spun down inside the 30, close to a first down. Rob McLaughlin brought him down.
2 great blocks at the point of attack. First by number 84, Will Presty on the edge, and then Randy Earl leading the way through the hole. Passes to Cleater. You're going to take a look. It's a simple I formation, toss right, and you may not be able to see it, but right there, Will Presty out front, blocking, and then you see Randy Earl getting a piece of number 40 McLaughlin. But good job of Randy Earl sealing that in.
9-yard pickup, and they have been using both backs very effectively. Both run plays, they're special plays for it.
Well, they get him in and out, and again, most of the time you're going to see Robbie Bonagoro running to the inside, where Gerard has a little bit of speed. He's quicker. They're going to get him to the outside. But watch out for the big fullback, number 8, Matt Albany, powering up the middle.
Again, another 3rd and short situation, and they go to the big fullback, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Matt Albany's 235, brought down once again. Robbie McLaughlin, we've mentioned his name 4 or 5 times already.
And let's see where the spot is there, because this is going to be very close. It'll be a 4th down situation, I believe, Barry.
They gave him a first down.
And he had a little help by number 44, Charlie Redmond. It was a great defensive play by the linebacker.
You might hear some booing by the Floyd fans. They thought they had stopped him.
That's the old referee's forward progress, Barry.
Well, when you got a guy like Matt Albany, 6 foot, 235-pound junior, and he bags into you, he's going to knock you back first before he gets knocked back by a swarm of Floyd defenders.
Great shot putter, county champion, big bruiser at 235. Right now in the ball game is Bonagora and Albany. And right now here's Danowski rolling left, looking, throwing deep toward the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. He was looking downfield for Rob Bonagora. And he went deep again. Second time they've done it on first down, the play action. Ryan Korn was back defending along with Rob McLaughlin.
I'll tell you what I like, though. I like Will Presti, who was a tight end, going out into the flat, and Mike Kilcohen, the linebacker, staying with him the whole way and taking it off, because that was the first look for Matty Danowski. Matty comes out to the left. He's looking first for Presti, doesn't see him, so then he looks deep, and you can see right there Robbie Bonagoro running, but just a little bit off. He slowed down just a little bit there, it looks like, and unable to come up with a touchdown reception.
Well,
fortunate for Danowski because he was open initially, but ended up being triple covered.
Right now, Bradley back in his tailback, lined up behind Albany's. And this is Bradley, and he could not get away from the hold of Charlie Redmond, that middle linebacker, all-county performer, number 44, 6'2", 215-pound senior.
You know, he's, as you said, all-county two-way player, two-year starter, a ferocious hitter. He was able to come in there and made a real good hit. Low, solid, held on to Bradley's leg, brings up a third down and 10 situation, man.
And, you know, Farmingdale came out very, very well, running the ball straight at Floyd, and he kind of gotten away from it and gotten himself in trouble with it.
Well, they did that by passing, and not a great passing team. They're a good passing team, not a great passing team, and that might have taken them out of the game.
Passing situation for Danowski, rolling left. Looking, Panarelli's out there deep. He's in trouble scrambling. He's at the 20, has the first down, out of bounds, at around the 16-yard line. Charlie Redmond had a chance to get him and make a big play, couldn't come up with it.
And that's what we said about Matt Danowski being able to make things happen. Everybody shut down Wayne, and he's able to scramble. You know, he grew up here. His dad, John Danowski, the high school lacrosse coach. Matt is up in that little office at Mondriata Hall his whole life. Now what does he do? He comes here, has a great game last week, and comes up with another great game this week so far.
And Matty's a terrific lacrosse player himself, and you see how that helps him in the open field just now. Because you know, you could have put a stick in his hand, you would think he was playing lacrosse just now, the way he was running the open field.
Little dodge here, little dodge there, shot at the goal.
17-yard line is the line of scrimmage, first down. As this drive has eaten up 6 minutes, Bonagora tripped and falls forward to the 15-yard line. Once again, Rob McLaughlin in on the tackle. It'll set up second down, and let's call it about 7 or 8. Right now, let's check in with our sideline reporter, Hal Sass.
Thanks very much, Barry. You know, when you watch William Floyd, their line is definitely undersized to Farmingdale's offensive line. One of the keys for them is their tackling tonight. If you noticed in the early going, once they've gotten hold of the leg of a Farmingdale running back, they've held on pretty well. It's going to be a big key because they are going to get pushed off the line. So when they have their hands on somebody, they better pull them down.
Now, talking to Floyd, they think this is a bigger, stronger version of the Lindenhurst kind of team that they faced this season.
Another green and white team facing Floyd earlier this year. Lindenhurst had a great game.
Second and 8, Danowski in trouble. That scrambling ability coming into play. He's got a lot of room. He's at the 15, the 10. Danowski heading for the end zone. He's in. 15-yard touchdown run from Matt Danowski.
And look at the vision. Look at him seeing the field. He's looking to the right. He comes back. He feels the pressure, cuts back to his left, sees the whole field, sets up a block, and cuts back into the end zone. Excellent ability. And he is the X factor in this game. We talked about Bonagoro, Big Matty Albany, the defense of Farmingdale. The X factor is Matt Danowski. We said earlier, Henry Ford has to have a good game for Floyd. Well, Matt Danowski so far has showed what he can do for Farmingdale.
And they don't pass a lot, but he makes plays in the passing game with his feet.
Danny Sion to try the extra point. High snap, and it is blocked as Danowski brought it down. The kick is blocked, and it remains 6-0 on the big defensive play by William Floyd. And let's see for William Floyd, who came up with the big play right there.
It took way too long. The snap was high, and the timing was all messed up through the high snap.
Let's take a look here, because again, kicking games can kill you later on in the game. You watch Matt Danowski with a touchdown first. Drops back going to the right. Looking for his receiver, doesn't see it. Looks back, feels the pressure on the backside. He takes off. Now, right now, he sees the open field. He starts to set up his block, and he cuts back right there. Great job of screen into the end zone for the score. They try one more time. We're going to take a look here. Again, he has on the corner. He has two blockers out there, but nothing but pressure, so he comes back the other way, Wayne.
And watch the hustle by number 67, Drew Kane, who was in pass protection, gets a piece of the defender and making it very difficult. You see the high snap, and that throws off the timing, and terrific effort on the corner.
But it shouldn't. Danny Sion has to come through with a kick anyway and not wait, and that's exactly what happened. Danowski got it back spotted on time, but then because Danny Sion hesitated a second when he came, Chad Rissler, I believe, came in from the outside, and again, with his great speed, made a great job. And that could someday come back to, sometime come back to be a championship stopping kick. So extra points have played a big factor in this weekend.
Well, a 78-play drive, 78-yard drive, 16 plays, almost 7 minutes off the clock. And Danowski, who is that X factor you talked about, he didn't do much in the 2 playoff games, Tom. Against Freeport, was -6 on 12 rushes. The previous game against Elmont, -1 on 11 rushes.
No,
but he's healthy.
He had a great game passing the Elmont game, and he also had a tremendous defensive game that game.
And keep in mind, he separated his shoulder in the last game of the season, and he's dealing with that ankle. So maybe, now he's getting a little bit healthier, and he's feeling a little bit better this week.
Well, the ankle does not seem to be affecting him today. So right now, they'll look for a big return here as the kick coming here from Albany's. Taken upfield at the 21-yard line. And trying to return it right here is Matt Miller, and Miller will be spun down as he gets to around the 36-yard line. Randy Earl on the tackle, 16-yard return.
You kick short to stay away from Chad Rislin, and you get the ball to the 36 anyway. So you take away a chance of maybe a touchdown run back, but give him great field position anyway.
Quarterback will be Henry Ford, and like Danowski, can make things happen running the football. He's done it the last 2 games.
But he does it very differently. He's a big kid. 6'2", 200 pounds, and he will break a lot of tackles. Danowski will shake and bake, but this kid in last week's game and the game we did 2 weeks ago, consistently breaking tackles. 4 touchdown runs in the last 2 playoff games.
1st and 10 at the 36-yard line, and Ford to throw on 1st down, throws it out far side. Charles Trent, the reception for about a 6-yard gain. And he's brought down on the play by Steve Panarelli, one of the defensive backs.
And you can see right off the bat, Paul Longo decides, he says, hey, we're going to come out, we're going to open you up, we're going to make you feel loose. So you take a look at that William Floyd offensive line, Wayne.
And the offensive line, Krisky, Green, Glassman, Tamburillo, and Barato, they're going to have to go against this big defensive front for Farmingdale. The backs, Rislin, the great Chad Rislin, Vinny Leone, Charles Redmond, Mike Descanis, who had a great game 2 weeks ago against Pat Med, and Charles Trent.
Descanes and Trent can catch the football. They're the leading receivers. 2nd and 4. And this time they'll go right up the middle to the big fullback, Vinny Leone, and he blasts his way to the 44-yard line. One of the things that Vern Gamble said, if they're going to give us that middle, we've got a fullback. Doesn't run much, but he's 5'11", 230, and he'll blast his way up the middle.
Well, they're going to take good coaches, take what they give you, and they're going to give you that. They're going to give you the outside, the one-on-one. You saw the pass, the reception, the gain of 5. Now they're spreading out. They're looking for Chad Rislin in the corner. They go up the middle. Big defensive line. Robbie Romano is an excellent defensive end. He gets short change sometimes because Randy Orr, the other defensive end, is good. Mike Monroe and Yinka Bossetti in the middle. Strong. Linebacking crew of Farmingdale, which we'll see in a minute, is really their strength.
Ford hands it off to Rislin. Rislin into the secondary and down as he got to the 36-yard line. A gain of about 8. Matt Albanese on the stop.
And speaking of Matty Albanese, he's part of that linebacking crew we're talking about. Albanese and Bonagora, the inside linebackers, are the strength. Brennan and Presti on the outside are great athletes and make things happen. They're going to have to do it now. Panarelli, Zielinski, and Skakandi round out the defensive secondary.
And you see the contrasting style. Right away, William Floyd, they've been waiting patiently to get the football, and then right away they take the ball down the field.
All right. Let's see, Mione, the single setback. They go to the fullback again. He'll pick up the 1st down inside the 35 to around the 34, 33-yard line. Robbie Bonagora in that 4-4 inside linebacker at the stop.
And Vinny Mione is a key player because if he has success running up the middle, then you can't continue to cheat Keon Rislin off the tackles and around the sweep because otherwise they'll be gutting it for the rest of the game. So if Vinny Mione, who had a good game again a couple of weeks ago in the playoffs against Pat Med, he's the key right now early on.
And if you don't cheat and you stay back, Rislin's going to kill you at some point.
Right now on 1st down, Ford to Rislin up the middle. And Rislin slices his way inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Albanese on the tackle along with Will Presti. And it's been a very well-designed drive here. A lot of different plays here.
A quick hitter with the fullback, and now they come back with the counter trap. And they're using Farmingdale's size against him because once you get the big fellas going upfield, it's easy to trap.
And there's Paul Longo in the middle with the green on. Bernie Gamble right to his right, his high school coach, now his mentor. But I tell you, Paul's doing a great job in his own right.
Now another set. They line up in the I. Mione the fullback, Rislin the tailback. And this is Rislin, and not much off the left side of the line. He got stuffed that time, and stuffed by Yinka Bossetti. Number 65, 6'3", 265-pound senior.
And, you know, Yinka, big, strong kid. He's good bench press, good squat, 590, fast. Looking at Division I schools, Maryland, Georgia Tech, Hofstra's very hot on him right now also. And you see Buddy Klumenacker right now giving the defensive calls. Buddy runs the defense. Pete Mallory runs the offense in this rich Farmingdale tradition.
So it'll be now a big third down play, 3rd and 4. Leon Burton now in the ball game. He's a scat back, number 2. And this is the big guy, Rislin, trying to pick up the first down, driven back. Let's see where they mark his forward progress. It'll be a first down to the 22-yard line, a gain of 5. Presti at Albany's trying to drive him back. He reminds a lot of people of Chad Bosch, the great running back from Connecticut, who starred in this championship game back in 1992.
Well, he played Farmingdale in 92, and he doesn't have the moves Chad has as far as his shake and bake ability, but he definitely has the speed of a Chad Bosch. He's small, and he's able to accelerate. And right there, Wayne, he followed his blockers so well on the wing sweep.
He's one of the leading candidates for the Hanson Award. Top player in Suffolk County. 1st and 10 at the 22. Excellent drive engineered by Henry Ford. Trips to the left side. Here's the pitch to the left side. Rislin behind some blocking. Turns it outside and is driven out of bounds after he picked up short yardage. Steve Panarelli, one of the tacklers, drove him out. And also Walt Zielinski coming over from his cornerback position.
Zielinski and Panarelli, both good lacrosse players for Farmingdale. Panarelli 2 times in a row, 2nd in the counties in wrestling. So he's another great athlete. A lot of the kids on the Farmingdale team, they're lacrosse players, they're football players, they're great wrestlers, great basketball players. They've been in big games before, Barry.
Now Matt Miller is checked into the lineup for the William Floyd team on 2nd down. Miller will come out as a wide receiver to the near side at the bottom of your screen. Paul Longo looking on. Now again trips with Rislin in the middle of that formation to the left side. Ford looking left, flag on the play, throwing deep in the corner of the end zone, complete for a touchdown, and a touchdown reception to Mike Disgain. But remember, there's a flag back at the 25-yard line.
And either it's a game from the side, Judge. You're going to get either a legal shift or a legal formation.
And that could be devastating to Floyd. Floyd comes up with a score and has, beat deep. No reason to be beaten that point because he knew they were in a passing set. They dropped straight drop back, no play action fake, and they just beat Farmingdale deep.
They have the trip to the left, illegal procedure, the call negating the touchdown. Craig Marshall with the call.
When we talk about 10 most important mistakes in football at the top of the telecast, you see Evan Klufsky coming over here to the side, telling Coach Longo exactly what it was, where the call came from, and he says, no, you're wrong. We're going to look right here, Wayne, take it.
Well, we can't tell what the call is, but it's a straight drop back, and it's basically a corner route by the receiver. Excellent route, gets behind the defensive backs. Terrific catch and throw. And I think that that's just an indication, even though they don't get the touchdown, what this is showing you is that they can take advantage of the Farmingdale secondary.
You know, it's funny, every single locker in the Farmingdale locker room yesterday was covered with an article from Newsday. And the article said that they should, be able to throw in the Farmingdale secondary, and Farmingdale had a big line under Buddy Klumenacker saying they've only had 2 touchdowns thrown against them all year. Why are they saying that about us? But that showed right there why they think they're weak.
Ford showing he's got a good arm. And now a little bit of a mix-up there, and this is Mione trying to spin away. City wrapped him up initially, and they blow the play dead.
That was a crucial penalty because you look now it's going to be 3rd and 12 instead of a touchdown, 6-6, and possibly going for a 7-6 lead for William Floyd. Now they're faced in a 3rd and long situation, and again, mistakes like that can kill you in football games. Just like the mistake that Farmingdale made, letting somebody get deep on you can eventually hurt you.
3rd and 14, actually. And now they'll come out again with Desgaines, Miller, and Rislin all lining up as 3 flankers at the bottom of your screen. In a moment, you'll see him. Trips to the left side, Trent to the right side. Single back is Mione, looking for Trent down the right sideline. He's out there, and he could not catch up with the ball. Presti was chasing him as the defender.
Again, another quick flag. So there's something going on with the formation of Floyd, and the coaching staff is extremely upset because when that flag comes in very quickly, it's procedure or formation.
Craig Marshall from Section 8 is the referee in charge, and there's the call.
The negative part of this, though, is it's going back, and I would have declined this thing if they had the opportunity to decline it, make it 4th and 14. I don't want a 3rd and 18. Here's the call. Craig Marshall is going to make the call for us. Buddy Klumenacker on the sideline telling him, make it 4th down, decline it. And that's it. Craig Marshall says, I heard the call, procedure, decline. 4th down and 13.
Unfortunately, we're not hearing an explanation from the referee.
So it'll be 4th down coming up, and William Floyd has Charlie Redmond checking into the ball game. He's a good receiver as a tight end. And now again, Desgaines and Miller will come out to the near side.
I want to keep my eye on Randy Earl, number 21, the defensive end for Farmingdale. He usually gets a good pass rush. It seems like a passing situation. See what happens.
Ford faking. Ford scrambling, and he will not get out of the grasp of Rob Romano, who's had 10 sacks this year, number 66, 5'11", 200-pound senior.
And whenever I mention Randy Earl's name, Robbie Romano comes up time and time again. Robbie Romano has had a tremendous year. He really is the key to the defense because he freed up, people double-teaming Randy Earl, freed up, and we have another penalty on sportsmanlike.
Well, hold
both
on.
teams, I think. I think we have a sportsmanlike against both teams on this one.
Now, will that negate the play? And they'll hit another play here, or will they take it?
No, that would negate the play because it was dead ball. We have to find out. I assume it's dead ball after the play, and we're going to have to look and watch Craig Marshall and see what he says.
After the whistle, apparently.
Unsportsmanlike there. Unsportsmanlike
Both
there.
teams.
After the play, offset.
So it'll be 1st and 10 now for Farmingdale as the defense bent but did not break, and that costly penalty nullifying the touchdown pass by Ford to Descaines in the end zone.
And that could be crucial. We talked about the extra point being crucial for Farmingdale. Now we're talking about that no touchdown being crucial for Floyd. That's 6 points that got taken off the board.
Well, Danowski has carried the ball 3 times for 37 yards, including the touchdown run. And right now he'll bring his club to the line of scrimmage. Bradley lining up behind Earl with just 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. Slot to the right. And keeping is Danowski. Danowski into the secondary. Has the first down to the 40, 41-yard line. Matt Miller brought him down.
And Barry, there's some hitting going on in that field. I'm looking down at different guys getting into each other. You see right there, I just saw number 67, Drew Kane, getting into his man. I mean, this is Conference 1 football at its best, and they are taking some shots.
49 yards picked up by Danowski on 4 carries. And it's a first down at the 40-yard line. Now, Matt carried the ball for 563 yards, almost 6 yards per carry. So his running ability has been a key factor in their success.
Absolutely.
They'll stay on the ground. Bradley trying to scoot his way, and the little 5'3" buzzsaw picks up maybe a yard on the final play of the first quarter as Vinny Mione and Steve Tamburello combine to make the stop. That's the story. Buddy Krummenacher likes what he's seen so far. His club has the only points. They lead it 6-0 after 1.
Connie Hayes got her graduate degree at Adelphi University.
When I look back, even I don't know how I did it. Here I was, 30 years old, 2 small children, working, not your typical student. So I worked a little harder, right? Adelphi gave me understanding and flexibility. They made their program fit my schedule. Whatever I've given to these kids, I don't think it would have happened without Adelphi.
Connie Hayes didn't go back to school at Adelphi. She went forward.
And we're back at Hofstra. Barry Landers along with Tom Howard, Wayne Morris, and let's go to Hal Sass.
Well, you know, Barry, William Floyd has had a tendency this year to get off to some slow starts. Today they give up 6 points on the opening drive to Farmingdale. So Coach Paul Longo thought about changing things up. They have a long ride from Mastic Beach all the way to Hempstead, about an hour and 15 minutes. Usually the bus ride is very quiet. He wants it that way. He doesn't want them talking. But he told the team on the way out here, hey, guys, play the music, talk it up. It's going to be a long ride. I want you fired up. Looks like they were able to move the ball, so not so much of a slow start, but they still trail by 6.
If you take a look right there, Ed McCloskey, who's the linesman right on that side of the field, is talking, Ron Judge, I'm sorry, is talking to Paul Longo.
Fumble. All right, Danowski fumbling, hit by Quaranta, and Floyd has come up with the turnover. Also very big on that play was Mike Kilcullen. Matt Williams was trying to help out to recover that ball. He was in right in the middle of things for Farmingdale.
Huge play, too. Great penetration into the backfield right there. Danowski lets go of the ball, and you see the recovery by William Floyd. They're going to take over 1st and 10 on the 38-yard line.
Yeah, William Floyd, I couldn't catch the number, did a terrific job. Once they got him up, Danowski was fighting to get more yardage, and he stripped him of the football. So terrific job by William Floyd, getting a big play after the disappointing drive.
Right now, Mione and Rislin line up behind quarterback Henry Ford. Back to throw on first down, throwing over the head of Trent as they had coverage from Panarelli and dropping off the linebacker Danny Brennan.
But they're doing a good job of loosening up the Farmingdale defense. Even the incomplete passes now are worth throwing because what they're doing is they're taking that 4-4 tough defense, Farmingdale putting everybody in the box worried about Rislin, and even now concerned about Vinny Mione, and loosening them up a little bit.
Ford is now 1 for 3 for 6 yards. Rislin has gained 20 yards on 6 carries. Mione 2 carries for 19 yards. Let's see if they can take advantage of the turnover. Second down at the 38-yard line. Trent flank to the right. This is Rislin. Rislin, as he got to the 35, dragged down by Robbie Bonagora. And they'll set up a third down play. Third and about, let's call it 5 times.
Yeah, it's going to be right in the middle there. It's about 5 yards to go, 3rd and 5. But again, they're in 4 down territory now, Barry. So you're down to 2.5 per play as opposed to 3.5.
They've been cardiac kids all year, and they're 2 for 2 on third down conversion so far in this game. Again, Trent, the only wide receiver, matched up against Panarelli. And Rislin trying to pick up the first down, driven back shy of the 30. So they'll set up a 4th and about 2 as Rislin stopped by Mike Monroe, a strong, small, 5'10", 200-pound junior who's a very good kid who makes things happen on the line.
This is a real dangerous situation because it is 4th and 2, and very often you cheat on defense to get up and make the stop. And if a guy like Rislin breaks through, it's 6 points, Wayne.
Right now, they'll come to the line of scrimmage here. William Floyd has a huge offensive line. And Rislin is the only setback. And they'll go to Rislin. Great second effort. Look at him still driving. This kid's only 165 pounds, and he picked up the first down on second effort.
And that's the thing, you know, you said 162 pounds, so you don't expect him to break tackles, but he kept his feet moving, and that's always the key when you draw contact. Keep the feet moving, and you'll have a chance.
And very hard to defend that because if you notice, they had 9 men across the line of scrimmage. One quarterback is 10, and Rislin in the backfield is 11. They had everybody across the line, so as a defense, you usually come up with a 4-4, 5-3, something like that, but you can't protect every gap if you have 9 men across the front. Excellent play by William Floyd.
Again, they'll line up with a trips to the right formation. And a single setback is Rislin. Pitch to Rislin. Rislin trying to use his speed to go outside, dragged down by Solinsky as he got inside the 25 to about the 23. Only a pickup of about 2 on the play.
Walter Solinsky did a real fine job of closing on that play and stopping Chad Rislin before he got going.
And you see Rislin's speed because Matt Albany's had a beat on him, but he just couldn't catch up to the fleet-footed Rislin because he had the angle and he still beat him to the corner.
Again, a lot of formations. Again, that trips to the right formation that we saw a couple of times.
Well, what formations do is spreads the defense out. It also confuses the defense on where they should line up. So if you come out in tight formation and trips the next play, it helps you on offense.
Backs are split. Ford handing off. And look at the hit that time at the 25-yard line. Going down Rislin, not much there. Albany's the tackle. And that'll set up a 3rd and long.
Albany steps up and does his job. Panarelli from the outside cornerback position comes up and helps out with the tackle. Do a good job there. But again, William Floyd in a position right now for Henry Ford to step up. The quarterback needs to step up. It's a 3rd and long situation and make something happen.
Yeah, but I expect them to go for it on 4th down. So they, in their minds, I don't think they need to get all 9 of these yards for the first down because I think they are going to go for it.
Des Gaines and Trent flank to the left side. Looking left, out of the backfield, off the hand of Rislin. And Ford a little upset with himself on the release there.
Yeah, he rushed it a little bit. He had him out there, and that's a swing pass. You don't want to throw that in a line drive. You kind of want to get a little bit of loft to it, and you throw a little bit too hard for Rislin. See what you're going to see him drop back. He gets pressure, but he doesn't need to fire that ball out there, and Rislin doesn't have a chance to get both hands up, and the ball goes incomplete.
4th and 9 at the 24, and they are going to be going for it. Mione is back in the ball game, replacing Burton. He'll be the single setback. Again, that trip to the right formation. Rislin is in the middle of that trip. Ford in trouble, throwing it down the sideline, and he was rushed that time and could not get anything on the ball, and it was coming up the middle. Robbie Bonagora on the blitz.
Pass defense is three things. Number one is the pass rush. Number two is to hold up receivers. Number three is to play defensive secondary pass protection. That time, the pass rush made the quarterback, Henry Floyd, throw quickly. No one was able to turn around there.
And the pass rush and the blitz also makes the quarterback make the wrong decision. Trent was the inside receiver, and he broke across the middle and is wide open. But however, the pressure did not allow Ford to make the right choice. He picked the wrong guy.
Excellent point.
So Farmingdale takes over, leading 6-0. In case you're just joining us, it was Matt Danowski on a 15-yard run, capping a 16-play, 78-yard drive to open this game. The extra point try was no good. That's the way we stand right now. Here's Bradley. Got some blocking from Bonagora, and Bradley will cross the 25 to about the 27 before Steve Tamburello brought him down.
Good job by Floyd, stringing the play out, waiting. Linebacker scraping along, making the hit. Pick up a 3 on the play. Doesn't seem bad for Farmingdale, but Floyd did a real good job of stopping Gerard Bradley.
Bradley now 5 carries for 23 yards as he's been alternating with Bonagora. He's got great vision for a little guy, and hard to find him at 5'3" sometimes.
Well, you know, a lot of times, even when you get to the NFL, those little backs behind big offensive linemen are tough to pick up.
This time, play action. Danowski throwing for Presti as he collided with the defender, Trent. And there was some pressure put on by Woodhall.
An excellent no call there. We have our back judge, John Kay. There's a little collision back there. The ball was thrown high, and even in high school football, it's not an uncatchable ball in high school football, but that ball was just thrown away. Excellent no call.
So that stops the clock with 8:01 to go in this first half. As expected, physical confrontation between these two big Class 1 schools. As now Panarelli will come out as a wide receiver to the left. Presti split, now lines up as a tight left end. And here's Danowski behind a block. What a block by Earl. Danowski scrambling for his life here. Danowski at the 30 has the first down. Look at him go. And tripped up as he crossed the 40-yard line to the 46-yard line by Ryan Korn.
And Barry, that was set up not only by the good blocking, but by Matt Danowski cutting back and setting the blocks up. Great backs are able to set their blocks up, and what he did is every decision he made was correct. He felt the pressure come from behind. First block right there, Robbie Bonagora throwing. Second block downfield, you see number 78. Will Presti comes back and throws a block. He cuts back the other way. Panarelli throws one right down the line. Watch as he scrambles. You can see block after block after block. Great job by Matt Danowski making things happen.
Finally, Ryan Korn brought him down there, but a big, big run of 20 yards, and Danowski now 67 yards on 6 carries.
And this is something that Floyd, remember they had last week's film, Danowski had an awful game. This is something Floyd really wasn't looking for, but Danowski to be that good.
Good point. Here's Bradley trying to go outside. Nothing doing. He got stuffed.
Yeah, Mike Monroe blocked out. He's the fullback. He kicked his man out, and Bradley ran outside of him. Got to follow your blockers. Even if it doesn't seem like there's anything there, get back to the line.
Terrific job by number 33, Michael Cullen, the defensive end, maintaining his outside containment until the rest of the fellas can come around and help him out.
You know, Mike is a 3-year starter for these William Floyd Colonials. He hurt his ankle a couple weeks ago in the 7th week, and now he's back, and he's really, I tell you, we've seen him make 3 or 4 real good plays so far.
Very steady player. So second down coming up here, 2nd and 12 at the 44. Bradley back in at tailback behind Albany's. Panarelli flanker to the left. Danowski on the option, keeping it this time. He's taken down. Steve Tamburello, who's playing with a sprained ankle, made a fine defensive play.
And Tamburello came right down the line through the opening and pulled him right down.
And he's the smallest offensive defensive lineman they have. He's only 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's got a lot of heart, and he's got the great technique in the interior line, and that gets him over.
Well, they've got to find a way to stop Danowski with his quickness and his scrambling ability.
Well, it's hard because, again, when Danowski's on the corner most of the time, the receiver's running down. You have to honor their ability to catch the ball, even if they're not passing the ball. It opens it up.
Danowski now working from the shotgun on 3rd and 12. Rolling right, looking deep, throwing down the sideline, and it is going to be Skakandi, and it's going to be ruled a catch by Skakandi.
Brendan Skakandi follows the ball the whole way, had his receiver beat, concentrates, you see him backpedaling, comes in 33-yard reception on the play. Danowski puts the ball right where only Skakandi can have it, and Skakandi comes down with it. Beautiful pass, beautiful play.
Terrific adjustment. You're going to see Danowski take the ball a little semi-roll to the right. He gets it up one-on-one coverage. This ball thrown behind him to the outside where it should be, and Skakandi makes a terrific adjustment. Watch the adjustment. Thrown the ball behind to the outside because he is covered. The man was running, that was Kilcullen running stride for stride. So as a quarterback, that's where you put that pass.
What's your defensive end doing play coverage downfield on a long pass? Was it a mix-up? Danowski from the shotgun. He'll run it here at the 15 to the outside to the 5, and Danowski down inside the 5 and around the 3. James Alisi saved the touchdown.
Matt Danowski giving everyone on William Floyd fits. They're ready to cover Robbie Bonagoro. They're able to stop Albany. They're able to stop everybody. But you see right there, flag on the play. It looks like it's going to be a holding against Farmingdale. Ball is on the 13. The flag is on the 13-yard line. Watch here. Danowski takes it from the shotgun. Drops back, says up, and that's a draw from the beginning. You see the fullback coming up blocking. He cuts back and is just making things happen. But right there, the flag came out of the pocket.
I think the holding was on number 11? 19, Cascandy on the outside, blocking on the outside line.
I saw a 1 number that the flag came thrown in. I don't know whether it was Panarelli or Scacandi, but it was somebody had a 1 on, and one's 19, one's 11.
Well, Scacandi caught that big 33-yard pass. Only his 5th reception all year. We'll get a timeout here.
William Floyd's timeout, excellent timeout, I think, at this point, because they got to talk about what they're going to do, not only to stop Danowski, but to stop Farmingdale.
There's no question about it. Matt Danowski, who dazzled so many of the Nassau County teams with his scrambling ability all year, fit, healthy today, is giving them all sorts of problems. Didn't do it in the first 2 games rushing the football in the playoffs, but he's certainly done it today.
And like you said before, Barry, or Tommy, he didn't look that good on the film. So Floyd now is seeing the real life Danowski, and what they have to do from a defensive strategy standpoint is those ends have to, get up the field on pass situations, but they have to realize they have to try to keep him in the pocket. They can't give up the outside, or they can't rush the quarterback where he can step up and then break to the outside. So defensively, they have to do a better job of keeping him in the pocket.
Well, in case you've missed the first 3 games, we've had some great games. Congratulations to Bellport. They are the winner of the Long Island Class 2 Championship. Wantagh, the Class 3 champions, as they won. And, of course, a great effort by Cold Spring Harbor early today. Let's go to Hal Sass quickly.
Well, Barry, you've talked about the running game, and Gerard Bradley has been part of that running attack for Farmingdale. Buddy Krumenacker, it's always good to have kids when they come up and you get the kid's brother and stuff, but what about when you finally have a guy you coach and you have his kid? His father, Darrell Singleton, played for Buddy in 1984 for the Rutgers champion, so it just shows a little bit of age over there, huh?
Right over at Hempstead, 1st and 14. Pitch back to the aforementioned Bradley. He's got Bonagoro blocking for him, and Bradley slices forward to about the 16-yard line.
The one hesitation by Robbie Bonagoro looking back to Gerard slowed his block up. Robbie has to get around the corner and get into his man. Gerard could have accelerated and possibly busted that. He had to slow down and he got caught from behind. Get up the field. And you see Buddy Krumenacker, look at that guy. Doesn't look like an old guy to me. He's probably the best-looking 54-year-old guy I've ever seen. Youngest looking, I should say. I don't know about best looking.
9th year, 54, 25, and 6. Overall, in his 20 years of coaching at Hempstead and at Farmingdale, 131 wins, only 44 losses.
Incredible job.
So it's now coming up on 2nd and 9. As Bonagura goes in motion, Danowski rolling, looking, throwing for the end zone, incomplete. As he was trying to get the big fullback, Matt Albany.
And just overthrew Matty. Matty has good hands, but he's a big kid, and you have to put the ball right on the money for him. And it was just a little overthrown.
And Danowski needs he'll learn this. So he's only a junior. He's out there with no pressure. He needs to set his feet and throw this football. Right now he's getting in the habit of throwing on a run, even when there's nobody pressuring him. See, right here, he should be able to set up and throw that football. And that'll help his accuracy.
Well, another passing situation here. 3rd and 9 from the 17, 4:28 to go here in the first half.
It may not necessarily be a passing situation. It may be a Danowski scramble situation, which we call passing, but you don't know he's going to definitely put that ball up in the air.
Danowski 2 for 6 so far for 36 yards.
But it's the scrambling ability that has gotten the Dales where they are.
Bonagura going in motion. Danowski rolling right. He's going to throw on the run, and he's got a receiver out there for the touchdown. Bonagura in the end zone with a 17-yard touchdown pass thrown by Matt Danowski.
And what a strike he threw, Barry. That time he did square his shoulders away, and that time he did get to the corner. Good blocking on the corner for him. Robbie Bonagura turns upfield, is in the end zone. Danowski throws a strike on the numbers. You see Bonagura right there, brings the 6 in, and now the crucial extra point. Do you go for 2 to make it 14, or do you just get the 1 and hope you can block one of the William Floyd scores later?
2nd TD reception of the year for Bonagura. to go along with his 12 rushing TDs. And right now, it looks like they're going to go for the 2 here.
Well, this is a critical 2, and you have to know the play that you have right now that's going to win for you. And Danowski on the corner seems like it.
Great first half for Danowski. And he'll hand off to Bonaguro, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Robbie McLaughlin and Charlie Redmond.
Tough to run power football on the goal line right there, especially when you're getting down the field with Matty Danowski getting to the corners for you.
Well, William Floyd in a familiar position, trailing in a game that 5 times they've come back in the 4th quarter to win. And let's take a look at the touchdown pass right here.
Watch Danowski get to the corner. He rolls out. He gets a good block from Albanese here. Just a little fake play action. I'm sorry, Albanese is down in the corner. Good block from Randy Earl right there. And down the field, Robbie Bonaguro wide open in the end zone for the score.
And watch for this reverse angle. Chad Rudson was coming on the corner blitz, and Danowski got rid of it just in time, and the timing was perfect. And you see Bonaguro in the end zone. Once again, the extra point, straight power off of the left side, and Charlie Redmond and McLaughlin do a terrific job of getting in the hole and stuffing Bonaguro.
What a great job by Chad Rislin taking on Randy Earl. Chad Rislin, 5'10", 165, knocking Randy Earl, the big back for Farmingdale, 6'3", 220, right back on that extra point play.
What a drive. The defense stopped him, and they came right down, marched downfield. And first half, Mr. Danowski has accounted for 117 yards in offense. 17-yard TD pass capping that 8-play, 71-yard drive. Earlier, it was a 16-play, 78-yard drive.
2 70-yard drives, 4 minutes on this one, 8 minutes on the other one, 12 minutes of time in the first half. That's a whole quarter they took away on 2 drives, Barry.
Danowski has accounted for 163 yards in the total offense with the 50 yards and, of course, the 67 yards. A combination. And right now, Albanese getting ready to kick off. And they need a big return. Chad Rislin can provide that. He's had 3 kickoff returns for TDs. And he's up at the 15-yard line. They're probably not going to kick to him. High kick, and Rislin will come up to take it at the 21. Fumbles the football, picks it up, and skirts his way to the 39, 40-yard line.
You know, sometimes when you have that fumble, it breaks things up. It throws everybody timing off, and he was almost ready to pick his way through there. You see a good look at Chad Rislin after he gets it. He just, again, he's small just like Gerard Bradley, and he's very tough to take down, but he has incredible acceleration.
So they're up at the 39-yard line, 4:15 to go, Wayne, and this a very critical drive for William Floyd. They've been able to move the football, but not able to score, getting it into the red zone.
Oh, well, not to worry, because we still have plenty of time for these guys. 5 fourth-quarter comebacks. So they're not panicking right now. So it's 4:15 to go in a half. You run your offense, you don't get out of control, and you try to put a score in before the half, and you're only down by a touchdown.
And if you don't put a score in, you just eat up the 4:15 to make sure Farmingdale doesn't get the ball back to score themselves.
Ford rifling one, complete to Trent. Broke one tackle, now taken down by Matt Albanese.
And what I'm waiting for is a couple of weeks ago when we saw them against Pat Med, they ran a lot of crossing routes against Pat Med, and Biscayne has had about 5 catches in the first half, and I haven't seen them go back to that as of yet.
When we talk about Chad Rislin being a great back, we know Henry Ford can throw the football. They're getting put into a position now where they may need to throw the football, and that Farmingdale secondary that Newsday had talked about maybe being tested, even though they were only given up 2 touchdowns, may be tested in the second half.
Well, he's passed for about 800 yards this year, Ford. Picked up a first down on that 10-yard pass. Looking for Trent, now will run. He's got a big hole to the 45, the 40. And he's a big horse himself to the 34-yard line. So he says, hey, Danowski's doing it with his feet. I'll do it with mine.
And I've been waiting for this because in the last 2 ball games, he has been a machine running the football as a quarterback. 3 touchdowns last week, 1 against Pat Med, and we haven't seen him do that as of yet until just now. You're going to see he drops back. He's looking out for the right side for Trent. He's covered and immediately sees an opening and he takes off. And he's got good speed, but the thing about it, he's also 6'3", 195, 200 pounds, so he's got some power inside behind him.
It was nice to see the blocking, too, on the offensive line. They stayed with their men. They stayed on their white jerseys and knocked the Farmingdale guys back.
Rislin, nice hole into the secondary. Has another first down to the 21-yard line. A pickup of about 13 yards on the play before he's brought down by Brendan Skacandy and Matt Danowski.
Like I said, no need for William Floyd to panic. Just run your offense. It's only a 12-point lead, and you still got a possession before you go into the half. Take your time, be patient, and you get a score here, extra point. You're down by 5.
Right now, William Floyd again showing the ability to move the football, but they've been stymied on a couple of these drives. 1st and 10 at the 21.
Well, Barry, once they got to this zone, once they got to the red zone, that's when they've been slowed down by Farmingdale. Let's see what happens now.
Again, trip to the right with Miller, Rislin, and they go to the left side to Trent. And Trent again wide open. Picks up about 9 yards to the 11-yard line before Bonaguro and Brennan brought him down.
And that's the short passing games there all day because the corners for Farmingdale are playing 9, 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. So you can't get to the quarterback on a 1, 2-step, 3-step drop. So run those little hitches, little slant passes, let the defense get you, and that's what Floyd is doing. Taking advantage of what Farmingdale's giving them on the outside.
So Ford now 3 for 7 for 27 yards. We'll get a timeout taken here as William Floyd has marched downfield after the Farmingdale score. And right now at the 10-yard line, it'll be 1st and goal, Tom.
And right now, Floyd really has the momentum going on their side. Things are happening. They're going. Everything is going right. They need to take advantage of it at this point and put the 6 on the scoreboard, get the extra point, as Wayne just said, to go in 12-7. And who knows, with 3:03 to go, you may see an onside kick right now. Floyd's a gambling team. They may decide, hey, we're going to go right after the ball, keep it away from Farmingdale.
Beautiful night, great crowd. Hope you're enjoying our exclusive coverage on Cablevision Sports. It's been a pleasure once again with Tom Howard, Wayne Morris, and all our crew. Sean Mangan, Pete Kohler, Ryan McNeil, and a cast of thousands have been out here for 3 nights. Foggy weather. Sean Kennedy, our technical director, making sure our pregame show goes. What a great opportunity to present to Long Island some of these outstanding young men.
Barry, it's been very enjoyable. It's been enjoyable for the fans. It's been enjoyable for the teams that get to come to Hofstra. Let's thank Larry Bloom also, the facilities director for Hofstra University. I mean, this is just a great weekend.
One of the guys we've missed this weekend, but he's had a reason to celebrate, is Brian Butler, because his lovely wife, Lori, earlier this week, produced a wonderful young man, Michael William Butler, their first child, 7 pounds, 5 ounces. He's the area manager for Long Island West, been with us for years. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Brian.
We miss you, but we know you're taking care of that baby right now, Brian.
I'm watching the game.
He's working harder than we are.
All right, big play coming here on 1st and 10. Ford sends Rislin in motion, and Ford will be stuffed and driven back to the 13-yard line by Mike Monroe.
After the timeout, I don't understand the call. Everything is going fine. You have your backs and receivers going. It's a quarterback sneak with everybody out of the backfield. If Farmingdale doesn't adjust, I mean, they adjust by putting the guy in motion with the guy who went, but I don't understand the call.
And I understand if you want a quarterback draw and not a quarterback sneak. A little different, different idea there.
Leon Burt now in the ball game. He's a speedster, number 2 in the backfield with Rislin. And this is Rislin. Rislin to the 5 and tackled at the 5, setting up 3rd and goal at the 5. Brought down after he picked up the good yardage by Panarelli.
Barry, not goal. They can get a first down on about the half-yard line, and that's key right now because they may be down there and they may need that first down because they might get it inside the 1.
It's 2-down territory, no question here. They're going to have to go for it either way as the clock now ticking down to 2 minutes.
It's about 6 inches away from the goal line, that first-yard marker. I don't think I could go out there and place the ball for a first down. It's so close. So it's either going to be short or you're going to get in that end zone.
Redmond lines up as a tight left end. Single setback is Rislin. Trying to get some movement there. And here is Rislin. He won't get the first down. He'll stop at around the 3.
I take points right now. I take points. I put 3 on the board. I don't take any chances. I know a million people will go against because they want 6, but I need my team to go in with some
points.
That's
exactly what Ryan Korn has come out of the field right now.
Great kicker in Ryan Korn. He's able to kick the field goal. He's done a great job this year for him. And I think it's really important that they come away with points at halftime. They can come back, as Wayne said, they can score 2, 3, 4 touchdowns in the second half. Don't take a chance of scoring nothing in the first half.
Well, Korn will attempt what is basically an extra point here from about the 12-yard line. 22-yard attempt, ball down. Left-footed kick is up, and it is perfect.
And keep in mind, William Floyd will get the football to start the second half. So they come out, score, and it's a 2-point game. So excellent decision on the part of William Floyd.
And that's the 2 extra points plus 1 that Farmingdale missed on their extra points. They got the 3 points on the board. It's 12 right now, and that could come back again to hurt Farmingdale later on.
Take a look at the 22-yard field goal by Mr. Korn right here.
You take a look. It's a good spot, good snap, put down, keeps his head down, up and through with no problem at all. Right into Joe Gardy's office there at Margiotto.
Ryan has kicked a 45-yard field goal, to school record this year. But once again, though, they've had ability to move the ball. That Farmingdale defense, which now has only given up 90 points in 11 games, bent but did not break. And you got to be a little frustrated if you're the Colonials. They should have come out with some points in this first half, more than just 3.
Well, not really, because now you know you can move the football. First drive, they lost a touchdown on the legal procedure penalty. Come out the second drive to move a little bit, and they messed up a little bit. So they know they can move the football now.
Very easily, this could be a 12-10 game right now going in a half. You see Buddy Krumenack, a good shot at Buddy right there. He has to be concerned because his Dales are doing everything he expected them to do, and they're still only up by 9 points. They've controlled the clock. They've moved the football. They've had Matt Danowski's come up big. There's going to be some adjustments made by the Floyd guys at halftime on how to control Danowski, which might open up Bonagoro and Bradley.
And as you see, 7 plays, 59 yards. They've held Risland to just 47 yards, and Korn able to come up with the field goal. You kind of look at the play selection after that timeout there. They went very conservative there. They'd been moving the football, Wayne, and looked like they were going to come up with something out of that drive as Bradley takes it at the 5. 15, 20, and tackled as he got to about the 22, 23-yard line, where Farmingdale will take over 1st and 10 with 1:02 to go in this first half, as the tackle made by William Floyd's Chris Nicky, number 42. Well, Mr. Danowski has been the story here in the first half for Buddy Krumenacker.
Little pass, little run, able to do it all, and his ankle obviously is in good shape right now. He came back against Sewanaka after he hurt himself in the Freeport game, had a tremendous day. Couple of great passes, little running, and was able to intercept and play great on defense. Right now, he's doing it both offensively, running and passing.
Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Farmingdale has Earl in the backfield. Bradley is the tailback. And here's Danowski keeping, rolling right. And Danowski will be stopped after maybe a yard gain on the play. Once again, Robbie McLaughlin, one of the tacklers over there, along with Joe Correnta, who's done a fine job.
Matt may be your winner, but I don't know with a minute to go that I'd be feeding him the ball. I think he's just trying to run out the half, so it might be something you want to give Gerard Bradley, or you might want to give Robbie Bonagoro and Matty Albany just to run out the clock.
Yeah, and you can see Buddy Krumenacker is going to settle on his 12-3 lead. Not going to do anything risky to give Floyd an opportunity to get some cheap points late in the half.
Well, Danowski, 7 carries for 70 yards. He's also passed 3 out of 7 for 50 yards, including a touchdown.
Get in on the raffle, and that's the winner in the second half.
And the junior quarterback will put his foot to the turf. And that will be it. Final play of the first half as the Farmingdale Dalers try to win their first Long Island championship. They lost in '92, Don Snyder's final year, and then in '99 lost to Brentwood. And right now they take a 12-3 lead to the locker room time.
And again, they've done a real good job in the first half, but they've done almost Buddy's game plan right to a T. They have to make sure they go in, and we're going to hear from Buddy in a second. They got to make sure they go in and readjust.
Matt Danowski with a 15-yard touchdown run. Then the big pass, Skakandi, 33-yard reception to set it up for the Rob Bonagoro touchdown reception thrown by Danowski to make it 12-0, and that's was the way we stood until the Corn field goal. Let's go down to the field and Hal Sass.
All right, Barrett, thanks very much. Joined by Buddy Krumenacker. You just looked at me and said, pretty good first half. You happy with the way things went?
Yeah, I'm happy with the way things are going. You know, when you're up 12-3, you got to be happy, and the defense, which been a little shaky here, but we managed to keep them out of the end zone, and you know, there's a difference on the scoreboard. You keep them out and you make them kick a field goal. That's a stop in this game, in the championship game.
Danowski looked pretty good in the first half. Hopefully he'll be okay in the second half.
He's fine. He's ready to go. You know, he's got no problems with his shoulders, ankles. Obviously, I think his ankles look pretty good, don't you?
Looks pretty good to me. All right, that's Buddy Krumenacker, his team leading by the score of 12-3. We're back to Hofstra with our halftime activities. You're watching Championship High School Football on Cablevision Sports.
For an in-depth look at the people that help shape our neighborhoods, tune into Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. As we sit down one-on-one with our community leaders, we'll address the issues that are most important to you and your community.
Hi, I'm June Markley, host of Meet the Leaders. Join me each week as I sit down with our community officials and discuss important issues about your town.
Only on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
Problem. You're an athlete. You've suffered an injury. You want to get better quickly.
A
Elite Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation. At Elite, you're guaranteed to see a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Your rehabilitation begins in our technologically advanced therapy center and advances to our fitness facility with its own indoor sports complex, batting tunnel, wrestling mats, basketball hoops, and volleyball courts. Get back to your sport safely and quickly under the supervision of Elite's doctors, physical therapists, and athletic trainers. Elite Sports Medicine for the 21st century.
What most people think of when they think of Connecticut football in '92 was Chad Bosch. Chad was about 5'7", maybe 165 pounds in high school. Was always told he was too small, even to be a great high school back. And he had a great determination, never wanted to come off the field. He practiced the way he played, and that's what made him special and made him the great player that he was.
We are back at halftime right here on Cablevision Sports, the Class 1 final for the 2001 Long Island Championship. This, my friends, your Optimum Online halftime show. Those Farmingdale Dalers are just 24 minutes away from their first ever Long Island Championship. They hold a 12-3 lead. A very solid first half for the Dalers. They held the William Floyd Colonials out of Suffolk County in check. Those big play Colonials, that's the story so far, and Farmingdale's been solid on both sides of the ball. Let me introduce you to my halftime guest. You've seen him here all week long, Greg Sarah from Newsday and News 12. You know Sarah is the man on the scene when it comes to these Long Island Championships. He's been here all 10 years. Good to see you, Greg. Thanks for being with us. Good first half for Farmingdale. Buddy Krummenacker and Farmingdale looking for their first Long Island Championship, taking on William Floyd. They take the opening kickoff, 70-plus yards, use 7 minutes, methodical drive, but it really set the tone for this game.
You know, it was Dale football. It's exactly what they thought they could do. They can run it, they can throw. I'll tell you what, Matt Danowski looks like he's 100% running the ball. He's throwing the ball well. When they can mix it up, they're going to be tough to beat.
You know, it's amazing, Greg. We see the junior Matt Danowski earlier in the season in the Freeport games, a little bottled up against the physical style Freeport Red Devils. But in this game against William Floyd, boy, does he look healthy. He has found his confidence running the football and throwing it. He looks outstanding.
Yeah, right now, Danowski has 73 yards on 9 carries. He's able to get downfield and into that Floyd secondary. Floyd's very fast in the secondary, but what's happening here is he's making some great cuts, he's making some good moves, and right now, he's the show.
Yeah, we mentioned that first drive. They take it down to the 15-yard line, and this was the play where Matt Danowski, we really announced to the Daler fans that he was healthy, ready for action. Greg, he swings it outside, and he saw the end zone in his sights.
Right now, he gets a good block on the end, and he's going to roll right here. He's looking downfield. He's looking for a wide receiver. He had Bonagoro come out in the flat. He sees nobody open. He goes back the other way, and there is no containment on the end. He gets a great block, which seals the edge, and he's off to the races, and he pretty much goes in untouched right here. Little move there right about the 5-yard line, and he's in for a touchdown. Just a great run. I'll tell you what, they got to come back. They got to come back, and they got to seal that end because Danowski cannot be allowed to freelance on the offense.
Yeah, Floyd unable to capitalize in the first half. Had a couple drives get going and just seemed to stall along the way. And then late in that second quarter, Matt Danowski first, he has the big pass play to Brendan Skakady, 38 yards, sets him up. And then Danowski, we've seen he could do it with the feet. This time, he's going to show he could do it with the arm. And he hits the guy usually hands off to in the backfield, Rob Bonagora, and Bonagora hauls it in.
Well, tough guy Bonagoro right now, you'll see him come out. He's wide open. I mean, he just throw that ball out into the flat, and there's nobody there. Actually, the receiver is out in the end zone, takes the D-back. D-back's out of the play. So Bonagoro's wide open. He comes out in the flat, and Danowski finds him. He could have run that ball for a good 10 yards also.
Floyd stung, too, by a penalty in this half. Had a touchdown called back. That's going to be a big play in this ball game. First quarter there, threw it into the end zone, touchdown. But another one of these calls here, receiver splits out wide, checks with the official. Official says, you're fine. The opposite side official throws the flag. That's a tough way to have a touchdown called back.
It's frustrating when you have the opportunity to score, and Floyd finally had an opportunity. Rob Bonagoro, Matt Albanese are doing a great job at linebacker. They're scraping the line and keeping Chad Rizzle contained. He can't get downfield. They're doing a mint job keeping that kid contained. Okay, but what happens here, Henry Ford throws a touchdown pass, and it gets called back for a violation, an infraction of an illegal procedure. And you know what, that's tough to swallow.
So Floyd finds themselves down 12-0 in this first half, and then they march down in the closing minutes of this first half, and it's a decision time for Paul Longo. Do I go for it on fourth down? He elects to go for the field goal and get on the board.
You know, Coach tells me right here that Ryan Corn is an excellent field goal kicker. He may be one of the best on Long Island. Right there, he drills it right through. gives them a confidence boost, puts 3 points on the board. They go into the locker room trailing 12-3 rather than 12-0. And right there, that tells me that Floyd is coming into the second half with a little bit of momentum, and that's dangerous for Farmingdale. Floyd has come back to win 5 games this year in the fourth quarter. Never count the Colonials out. Farmingdale will have to come out and do the same thing, Jimmy. They're going to have to go with the ball control.
My halftime partner, Greg Sarah, through and through, 4 for 4. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, Greg Sarah of Newsday and, of course, of News 12. You know, folks, for Cablevision Sports and our Long Island local programming department, these Long Island championships are the culmination of a football season. 3 days of wall-to-wall football for our crew, a crew that consists of 35 people. 35 men and women just going at it to bring you the sights, the sounds, and the pictures of these Long Island championships. Here's Cablevision's Barry Eisenberg with a little look behind the scenes of Cablevision Sports and our Super Bowl.
Ready, BT Babe, make the music. And 5, 4, 3, 2, roll Babe. Track it. He's off.
Wow, I cannot believe what I'm hearing. This is organized chaos at its finest. Welcome to Cablevision's local programming coverage of the Long Island Championships, behind the scenes.
2 days before the event, the crew is hard at work setting up the stage for the Optimum Online pregame show.
Well, good to see you and welcome to Hofstra, everybody.
Meanwhile, if the truck isn't up and running, there'll be no coverage of the game. So who gets to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders? None other than engineer extraordinaire Rich Ruggles.
There's probably over in excess of 6,000 feet of cable run between audio, video, and triax, which controls the cameras.
Now, how many things can go wrong that have gone wrong that the viewing public never sees?
There's a lot of things that go wrong. But fortunately, we have a very qualified staff, and we're able to overcome just about everything.
Having lots of problems with the tripod today. I was ready to throw it over the edge here.
Well, the atmosphere right now is a little hectic.
It's a little hectic. Everyone's trying to do their job.
Defense, ready, 6. Take 6.
You know, it's live. You kind of fly by the seat of your pants. I like that. You know, there's no take 2 or anything like that.
I'll work a lot with the graphics coordinator as far as getting the graphics on air properly, working with on-air talent, kind of giving them a game plan.
What I do is game camera, which is kind of gets the main shot of the field, most of the main plays. So when the fog enters the situation, it gets kind of difficult.
You could control just one thing. What would it be?
Keeping the kids away from the camera. Well, it'd have to be the weather, for sure.
I would probably say it would be the score, although no producer can ever control the score.
Weather.
Once the truck is fired up and ready to go, it's time to cut the game. Welcome to the command center, where all the mayhem comes together. Sean Mangan, director. What time of day do you feel the most pressure?
Probably leading up to the game, probably an hour before game time. We have to do at least 3 hours worth of work in about 20 minutes because then we have to shoot an open. So that's probably where the most pressure is.
There's a lot that goes into it that people don't see. The end product is really what we're most proud of.
What does a production like this mean to the community?
Local programming has now covered the Long Island Football Championships for 10 years, and it's really the culmination for us of an entire year's worth of hard work and dedication to the Long Island community and to covering our youngsters. Obviously, the youngsters of Long Island deserve an opportunity to be on TV and showcase their special talents, and we'd like to give them an opportunity to do that.
Real students.
I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Real pressure.
She's upset. That makes you nervous.
Real lives.
I'm going to go dancing on Friday. Then I don't want to smell like cows or anything.
Experience the private thoughts, personal confessions, and intimate moments of friends learning just what it takes to become veterinarians. Vet School Confidential. Tuesday at 10:30. Only on Animal Planet.
Don't miss Animal Planet's new series, Vet School Confidential. Tuesdays at 10:30 p.m. on Cablevision.
The gazelle-elephant, the platypussycat. The race to create such magnificent animal hybrids is extremely competitive. But ever since 2001, we've had a technological edge, a fiber optic communications network from LightPath. It allows us to share vast amounts of data with our research partners faster and more securely. And that's led to our greatest success, the golden retriever. Thank you, LightPath.
And on this beautiful night, you're looking just down the road at the Citibank Plaza Christmas tree. Had the Christmas lighting earlier today. What a beautiful day for that. What a beautiful night for a football game as we get ready for the second half, Tom Howard. And we'll go down to Hal Sass, right down on the field, standing by.
All right, Barry, joined by the head coach, Paul Longo. Paul, you trailed 12-3. The touchdown call that was taken away from you, what happened on that play?
That really hurt. We were in a different formation that we use a lot, and my receiver out there was not all the way up on the line. He's a little bit back, and that hurt a little bit.
All right, offensively, able to move the ball but not get it into the end zone. What do you have to do offensively?
Right, that's definitely a concern. We didn't punt. We moved up and down the field, and we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit getting down close. So we just got to do a better job in the red zone.
What about containing Danowski? He's been killing you with the scramble.
That's certainly been worse than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think he was that good a runner. I knew he was a good runner, but I didn't know he was that good. He really has hurt us, and hopefully we do a better job of containing him.
All right, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, that's Paul Longo, the head coach for William Floyd. It really was a tough call because the receiver on the near side, Trent, went over to the official and said, hey, buddy, am I lined up? This is something receivers do all the time. He told him yes, and it was the official on the other side who threw the flag, and it could turn to prove very costly to William Floyd. Back upstairs.
All right, Wayne, let's pick it up with you as a receiver and tell us your thoughts what Hal just related. Apparently, Wayne is not being heard properly, so we'll keep it here for the moment. And we'll take a look, Tom, I guess, at the halftime numbers as the officials right now are conferring. Craig Marshall's crew and very interesting discussion, and there are halftime numbers.
And you take a look right there at the halftime numbers. You have 114 yards rushing for Farmingdale, only 86 yards for William Floyd. But most of that came on Danowski's ability to scramble. The 60 yards passing for Farmingdale, one big touchdown pass. They were able to put 13 points up on the scoreboard. But the key penalty that took the touchdown away is one crucial point. And as Paul Longo said, they have to figure out a way to contain Danowski. That's going to be a big thing.
And one of the big things, Rislin held at 54 yards, 13 carries, did not have the big play, which he is so capable of doing. Remember, this is a guy with 25 touchdowns on the year, Chad Rislin, and came in with a total of over 1,700 yards rushing on the season. So he is a guy that can break it on any one big play.
He certainly can. And you see the kickoff right now, the line driving it. And
check.
And right now, they'll try to return it here as Floyd bringing the ball upfield to about the 39-yard line, where it'll be first and 10, a 15-yard return. And as they unpile right there, you see the player getting up for Floyd, number 7. And for Farmingdale, making the tackle that time, number 7, was Andrew Miller, the younger brother of Matt Miller, just up from the JV. What a spot in the championship game, up from the JV and getting the football in your hand.
It certainly is, Wayne.
And this drive is key from William Floyd. You know, they got the 3 points at the end of the half to get on the board. Now they start the second half with the football. If they need to come down and set a good tempo and get some points on very early and make it a closer ball game.
And starting good field position, Barry.
Risland off the left side. Good run. Start first down to the 47-yard line. Got an 8-yard pickup. Brought down by Matt Albany.
And why not do what you do best all year? Rislin's your guy. He's the key. He's the reason you're here. So many fourth-quarter comebacks, but all set up by Chad Rislin, whether a punt return or a long touchdown. Give it to him. You see on the first down, off tackle, good blocking, picks up 8.
Now he's had 14 carries for 62 yards. Minone, the fullback, 3 carries for 17. Ford carried the ball 3 times for 15, and Ford was 3 for 7 for just 27 yards in that first half. And again, Rislin gets the call. Quick hitter into the secondary and pulled down by Solinsky at the 35-yard line.
And Barry, this is what Wayne had said earlier in the second quarter. He said, don't worry about the time right now because these guys can break it at any time. They're down 12-3, but they have a guy named Chad Rislin in the backfield. Take a look at this as he comes through. Danowski gets, Albany gets blocked right there, and he's into the secondary. Skakandi coming over to make a tackle, and they make Skakandi miss. So Rislin is the guy. I don't know that you don't feed it to him every single play this half. Give it to him every time. You got a great running back, feed him.
Trent lines up as a flanker to the right, out of the I formation. After the 18-yard pickup, Rislin again into the secondary. Rislin, Solinsky trying to get him in this time. It's Skakandi able to pull him down, but not before another 20-yard run.
When you take a look at that, 3 rushes so far. He goes right down the field, 10, 12, 15 yards to the shot.
And you can see him explode through the hole. It looks like everybody else is moving in slow motion. He just explodes up through the hole. Good block at the point of attack. And you see Rislin breaking to the secondary as Skakandi finally brings him down.
William Floyd is taking Farmingdale off the ball. The blocking is tremendous up front. You just saw that last play. Every one of the Farmingdale guys was being blocked and pushed out of the way. Excellent excellent camera work.
Barreto and Tamborelli on that left side doing a great job over there. And right now they'll stay on the ground once again. And as they plow inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
You know what's funny? William Floyd came out, and again, you don't get to see these teams too often, so William Floyd really doesn't know much about Farmingdale. Farmingdale doesn't know much about William Floyd. But William Floyd really came out a little fancy. They came out passing. They came out giving the ball to their fullback. They came out doing things they don't normally do. And they took themselves sort of out of their game plan. What they're doing now is what they always do. Give the ball to Rislin.
Right now, Tim Green in the lineup as a tight end. On 2nd down and 6, Rislin. No hole, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage at the 14. Mike Monroe coming up and making a good stick.
Farmingdale sitting back the first 4 or 5 plays because they're coming out and they're not really sure. Are you going to pass? Are you going to run? Are you going to try to do anything? Now they're saying, hey, Rislin's running the ball. We're coming up tough. They're playing tough defense. It's 3rd and 5. This is a key play now for William Floyd.
And number 2, Leon Burton just checked in the game. He had a touchdown in the semifinals against Pat Med, so he has the ability to carry the football, so look out for him.
Farmingdale has stopped him every time they've been in these situations. 3rd down coming up here. And this time Rislin trying to turn outside, and look at the penetration in the backfield. Danny Brennan, Randy Earl getting in very quickly.
Randy Earl coming from the left defensive end, the real deal, comes up the field and makes a nice hit.
Ball back at the 18-yard line. And let's take a look again.
And you can see the right side of your screen as this is just a wing sweep. You see Randy Earl fighting off the guard block, and Rislin coming back to the outside on that play instead of cutting up, and Earl right in his way.
And no disrespect to number 66, Rob Romano. They may need to run that one the other direction towards him as opposed to trying to get around the outside of
Ryan Korn's kick is up, and this kick is no good. So once again, they move the football, come up empty here, as the 35-yard attempt goes astray.
And unfortunately just went astray, and that was because of the loss on the last play with Randy Earl. If they would have been up to 6 yards further, that might have gone through. So that was a key 3rd down play, Barry.
Well, Paul Longo really upset. His club did everything but punch it in there.
Yeah, but you stay with what brought you here. You know, the girl brought you to the dance, you stay with, and that's exactly what he should be doing. Rislin's the guy. He's going to break one. Don't panic. Stay in your game plan.
So Farmingdale takes over right now at the 20-yard line, leading 12-3. Matt Danowski with a touchdown run of 15 yards, capping a 78-yard drive, then throwing a 17-yard touchdown pass to Bonagura. Danowski to Bradley. Bradley, quick hitter. And this scat back is to the 35-yard line, a gain of 17.
Nice job by Gerard Bradley following his blocks, cutting back up inside, and then accelerating through the hole, picks up extra yardage, gets the 1st down. Take a look here as as Danowski hands off. Albany's throwing the lead block there. Gerard Bradley through the hole, picks up the 1st down.
9 carries, 45 yards for Bradley. Bonaguro has carried the ball 5 times for 15. Danowski 10 for 71. And Matt has thrown 3 passes complete out of 7 attempts for 60 yards and a touchdown. Once again, Bradley off the left side, and Chad Rislin got a piece of him. Also coming up on the tackle was Kevin Woodall, number 56.
You know, both coaches came into the game thinking they could move the ball on the ground against the other team. Farmingdale really moved the ball on the ground because of Danowski getting back to their basic game plan right now. And William Floyd, you showed us their basic game plan when they came out in the second half. Unfortunately, got inside the red zone for the 3rd time today and bogged down.
Once again, the Farmingdale very tough defense has only given up 90 points this year in 11 games. On 2nd down and 6, fake. Danowski on the option, keeping. Redmond will get him after he picked up about 2 or 3 on the play.
Bad pitch relationship there, but good enough for Danowski to make the fake, and defense had to honor it. And Danowski cut up after he faked the pitch. He was able to cut up because the defense had to honor that pitch. But again, with the pitch relationship, you got to get the back out ahead of you, not behind you.
Well, right now, William Floyd needs a big stand. Farmingdale's done very well in these 3rd down conversions so far tonight.
So far, and it's been because of Danowski. Matt Danowski has stepped up big. Champions step up big in championship games, Barry.
3rd and 4 for the junior quarterback. Rolling left, he's in trouble. Eludes 1 tackle, and now will not get away. As the pressure initially by Redmond, finally Vinny Mione, number 20, the nose guy at 230, brought him down for a huge loss.
And we talk about champions stepping up big in championship games. How about Charlie Redmond, number 44, stepping up and making it happen? 3rd and 5. He comes up big, throws Danowski for a loss. Take a look. It's just a sprint to the left. You're going to see number 44 Redmond get into your picture, slow him down, and then come back and get back in the picture to help make the tackle.
Well, huge play. Meone and Redmond finishing him off. So we'll have the punt coming from Bonagura.
Watch the punt return. Bernie Gamble has a punt return in, and generally they're able to get it to going.
Miller will watch this one take a huge bounce for Farmingdale. About a 15-yard bounce, and the ball blown dead at the 16.
That was great coverage downfield by Stephen Panarelli. He was able to get down there, and they didn't catch the ball, so it went 15 yards further. Need to catch that ball in the air, even if it's a fair catch, Barry. 53-yard punt, and that's, that's a huge game that gets lost in the stats, but a big, big play for Farmingdale.
Once again, Floyd will have to drive the football. Didn't see Rislin back there on the punt return, which is rather unusual. This guy...
Very unusual, because he's the guy who, on any punt or kickoff return, you have to be scared to death of.
Yeah, Rislin has returned 3 kickoffs for touchdowns. 1 for 95 yards as Ford now checks in. And Henry Ford right now will have to do some big things. He's 3 for 7 for 27 yards through the air. Burton now in the ball game as a running back. Again, they line up 2 wide receivers to the left side. And Burton gets the call, but we get a flag on the play.
What's the story with Rislin right now?
Do not see Rislin in the ball game right now. We'll have to try to check that out.
I'm trying to look on the sideline to see whether I see him down there at all, because, I mean, he's your key guy.
He's in the huddle.
Okay, now he is, right?
But he was out of the way. He was out in the slot position, I guess, on that play?
He came with the pro set. He was playing the halfback position. Burton was at fullback, and they just gave Burton the ball.
Well, they lose 5 on that play. That'll be a penalty. 1st and 15 coming up for the Colonials. Pushed back now to the 11-yard line. Meone back in the ball game as the fullback.
And watch Trent out here. He's out here on Panarelli one-on-one.
And they go to the big guy, and look at Rislin, break tackles, and Rislin will pick up about 12 of the 15 yards right there, stopped by Walt Solinsky.
Very exciting runner to watch, Barry. I mean, he's able, again, you're holding your breath, because at any second he can break it. He has that great acceleration, and he's getting near his 100 yards right now, and he breaks a big one. He could be up near 200.
Over 1,800 yards on the year, averaging almost 9 yards a carry, and now unofficially 21 carries for 101. So now a big play coming up here on 2nd down. And once again, Rislin spinning Brennan. Oh, look at the stick by Albanese right there. Matt Albanese with a huge stick, stopping a potential 1st down there. Brennan had him hit initially, Wayne, and then Albanese finished him off.
Yeah, watch Brennan. He's going to make the initial tackle. And watch Rislin. He's going to go into a spin move. And if not for Albanese, he might have leaned forward for the 1st down, but watch Albanese come in and finish him off.
Yeah, Matty Albanese, one of the best linebackers on Long Island. He's up for the Piner Award, which is the best linebacker in Nassau County, and he shows why. He and Jerry Mackey from Freeport are 2 of the top candidates.
All right, 3rd and inches. Rislin will try to pick it up. And let's see where they mark his forward progress.
And that was Albanese again, who stepped up into the hole, and then you saw Robbie Bonagoro come in and put the finishing touches on it. But good defensive play. Yinka Bossetti, 65, Danny Brennan, number 5, all getting in.
A very generous spot. It didn't look like he even crossed the 25-yard line, let alone get to the 26.
Let's see if they bring the chain out. They're going to give him, let's see, a 1st down. Boy.
Wow, I would have at least asked for a measurement there before they moved those chains, because that's not a guarantee. I don't care what you say, you bring the chains, and that was really a generous spot.
Clock set back in motion, and now we're going to get a timeout here. Officials now conferring, and perhaps an equipment problem with one of the Farmingdale players.
Yeah, they're in the huddle there. It looks like one of the Farmingdale players must have something, and you see right now Craig Marshall setting the clock for play. They have 25 seconds to get the next play off.
So Floyd will come to the line of scrimmage with Trent lining up as a wide receiver. Everybody else in tight, out of the eye. Rislin behind a block from Meone, and hauled down by Mike Monroe, number 40, the initial hit. Also Albanese in on the play. Clock continues to tick as we hit the 4-minute mark here, and again Floyd down by 9 here, needing to get something going on this drive.
And the key really is 9, Barry, because you know you can score 8 with a touchdown and a 2-point extra point, but that 9 means they need 2 scores. That field goal they missed a minute ago was a crucial field goal because they needed those 3 points.
Leon Burton checks into the ball game as a running back. And he'll line up with Rislin. Coming out now to the near side, Mike Desgaines as a flanker, matched up against Steve Panarelli on 2nd and long. Ford in trouble, scrambling, runs into his own player. Brennan was there to try to help wrap him up. Panarelli is there. Good job by Brennan to stay at home, and the loss of about 2 on the play.
Yeah, Robbie Romano, also defensive end, was in there very, very quick, making things happen. And again, we talk about if you want to stay away from Randy Earl, you got to go to Romano's side. Romano had 10 sacks for the year, 1 already tonight for 11 sacks for the year. He's a tough kid to handle.
Well, you see Ford now facing a big play coming up here. 3rd and 8.
You know, they have some matchups on the outside, but they've been caught in the pattern where they've been waiting for 3rd and long to throw the football, and they got guys matched up one-on-one in space and haven't been able to take advantage of it.
Well, passing situation, Ford rolling left, throwing, complete to Trent, and Trent will give him the first down at the 37-38 yard line. Matt Albanese, the linebacker, on the coverage.
And you'll take that matchup anytime. You got a wide receiver, a small, fleet-footed wide receiver on a big, strong linebacker. You take that matchup every time, and they took advantage of that one.
A key to the end, though, is that at the end of the hit, Henry Ford gets hit hard by Randy Earl. Now he gets the first down, but watch Earl come in and make the hit right there, or you don't get it on. Good catch, but Earl put a real hit on Henry Ford at the end of that play. To see what happens the next time he throws the ball.
4th catch of the night for Trent. He's caught all 4 of the passes completed by Ford. And this time Rislin runs into Mione, cuts it back beautifully. Look at the footwork here by Rislin. He'll pick up the first down to the 49-yard line. Rob Romano, the tackle.
Can't say it enough. The kid makes people miss. The kid is exciting. He's a jitterbug. He gets out there, and he keeps those chains moving forward.
And you mentioned the footwork, Barry, but it's also the vision. This play is supposed to go outside to the corner, but it gets stopped up, and he reads it, and he immediately looks back inside for the cutback, and he picks up the first down.
That was the Chad Bosch that we used to see with that footwork on the inside. He was able to make things happen there. Looked very good on that play.
1st and 10 at their own 49-yard line, under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Trent single coverage against Panarelli, up the middle to Mione, and the big bruising fullback driving and still going, and finally Brennan drags him down at about the 25-yard line, a pickup of about 24 yards.
I look down the line, I see Bonagoro, I see Albanese, I see Monroe. All these guys are picking themselves up off the carpet, walking back towards the huddle. And you saw Vinny Mione run him over on the way down on a 25-yard run. Watch this as he goes up the middle, just runs over people as he's going down. Missed tackles, running over people, until number 5, Danny Brennan, comes in and finally makes a hit 22 yards down the field.
Well, he's a tank at 5'11", 230. And right now they'll go to the tank again, and Mione right up the middle to about the 20. Gang tackled as he got to about the 20. Matt Albanese, again, one of the tacklers in there. And play stops right now. Rob Romano getting up a little bit slowly there.
And Vinny Mione doesn't run any other play but that quick hitter right up the middle, and he's had terrific success the entire game on that play.
And the clock now ticking, 1:09 to go. Buddy Krumanacher's defense again bending, yielding yardage, and here we are again.
Well, they're down again. They're in the position where they can get a field goal, if nothing less, if they keep going positive yards. That's William Floyd I'm talking about.
Backs are split, and this is Rislin. Tripped as he got to the 15, possibly the first down. Albanese on the tackle. They're going to mark it at the 14. It will be another first down.
And Floyd has been tearing it up between the 20s, but they have not been able to do anything in the red zone successfully or consistently.
And most of the time when they're tearing up between the 20s, they're also tearing it up between the tackles. That's where they're getting most of their good yardage, from tackle to tackle. And their line is doing a great job of getting off the ball and blocking.
Rislin now 124 yards on 26 carries. 1st and 10 at the 14. Rislin again. Hit hard, spuns off the tackle by Albanese, and then falls forward to Bonagora, who stops him at the 11, a gain of about 3 on the play.
That may be the last play of this quarter. Floyd's going to get up on the ball with about 5 seconds to go. Whether they get the play off or not, we'll have to see, Barry.
Clock is ticking, as you see, heading to the end of the 3rd quarter. And Farmingdale with a 12-3 lead. 2nd and 8 coming here. 10 seconds. They should be able to get it off here. Trent single coverage to the right. And Ford looking left, now scrambling. He's in trouble. Flag on the play, and he'll be thrown down for no gain. Rob Romano in on the tackle, but watch this flag here.
Barry, you're running the ball. You're doing very well running the football. You drop back to pass, and what happens? You get a holding penalty against you. The holding penalty is going to clear and put you back further. Every time they get in the red zone, there's a mistake being made. They can't afford those mistakes. Now we're going into the fourth quarter, and now the pressure is starting to build on William Floyd.
Well, the penalty will be called here by Craig Marshall. We'll begin the fourth quarter momentarily. Now Marshall indicating
he's basically saying we're going to mark off the penalty in this quarter, but then we're going to move the chains after that. So they have to spot the ball first, then they're going to move it. We're going to take a look right here, and you're going to get to see the penalty as Henry Ford drops back to pass. He decides to scramble forward, and you're going to get a holding penalty, and I think it's all on the left-hand side, number 66. White is being held right there, and you're going to watch right there from behind, number 72, Danny Barretto, grabbing from behind, and it's not a huge hold, but the penalty comes in, and you see Roy Levin throw the flag, and there still is, I guess, 1 second left to go in this period.
Right. They're going to give him this last play of the quarter. Second down, play action, Ford in trouble again, and Ford will be down at the 27-yard line, a loss of 3 on the play. Once again, Chris Ryan, number 60, coming up with a defensive play.
Key play for Farmingdale. Robbie Romano is down on the field. He is a key defensive end on the end. You have to take a look at that in the fourth quarter.
Timeout. We've played 3, and the Dalers are 12 minutes away from their first Long Island championship. They lead by 9. We'll be right back.
Get ready to have some fun. Neighborhood Journal gives you a backstage pass to all the action in your area, from community events to festivals to what's happening.
Hi, I'm Kathy Pelock, host of Neighborhood Journal. Join me each week as I take you to places to see and things to do right here on Long Island. Remember, it all begins in your own hometown on Neighborhood Journal.
Only on Cablevision local programming, TV that's close to home.
7 of last year's Suffolk County Wrestling Champions, the last 3 Hanson Award winners, 10 out of the last 20 Long Island Football Championship teams, Briarcliff College, Dowling College, professional baseball players Neil Heaton, Keith Osick, Rob Grable. What do they all have in common? Elite Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation. We build and heal champions. Elite Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation, Suffolk's complete sports and sports medicine resource.
We're back at Hofstra, 12 more minutes to go, and Farmingdale leading 12-3. Rob Romano is the injured player. And while we have a moment, Tom, I'd like to give credit to, in this 10th anniversary, the 2 guys that really did so much to create this Long Island championship. Both are here today. Bill Piner, former coordinator for Nassau County, Cold Spring Harbor AD. Nick Schroeder, the current AD of Smithtown, and the coordinator for Suffolk County many years ago.
And they both did. They had a vision. They wanted to see this Long Island championship. They did not go into the state championship. It was a 1-year experimental game, and now 10 years later, we're still here, and this has brought some excitement. We're going to hit 20,000 people this year at the Long Island Championships, Barry.
And should Farmingdale win, the series would be tied at 20-20 after 10 years.
Can't ask for anything better than that to see how even these 2 teams are. 10 years, 20-20.
You saw Rob Romano being helped off, but right now, big play, 3rd down and 23 from the 27-yard line. Wayne, what do you look for from Ford here?
Well, you know, I would try to screen the Rizzle and let them get out there in the open field, or try to isolate somebody. Disganis maybe on the outside one-on-one and give him a shot on a fade. But other than that, I mean, anything down the middle, you're asking for trouble.
The key is to get the ball inside the 20 so you have at least a good shot at a field goal right now.
All right, back to throw is Ford, faking, looking deep, throwing for Trent down the right sideline, out of bounds, and that'll set up 4th down from the 27-yard line. Getting up slowly was the quarterback, Ford.
Good choice. They want to stop and go, but they should have done it to the other side, the wide side, so they had a lot more room for your receiver to get open. That time he ran out of room and the ball went out of bounds.
Rislin was not even in the lineup then that last play. He's coming onto the field right now. You kind of wonder where he was on that last play, why he wasn't in the lineup. But he's in the lineup right now on 4th down. And right now,
line to make is the 4-yard line, Barry. They have to get to the 4-yard line for a first down. Anything short of that, if you're a defensive back, you want to knock the ball down, you get it back at the 28. You don't want to try to intercept anything. You want to bang it down, not tip it up.
Floyd on the draw play. Ristlin trying to get it, and he is tackled by Robbie Bonagora at the 28-yard line. And the Farmingdale defense stiffens and holds again.
That's the 4th time they've had the ball in the red zone, the 4th time they've come away. Only one time that they come away with 3 points. The other 3 they came away with 9. Take a look right here. Ristlin takes it on the draw. There it is. It's just a drop back draw, and boom. Robbie Bonagoro, Johnny on the spot to make the hit.
Well, Farmingdale can pretty much put this game away by eating up the clock here in a long drive, even if they don't score, Tom.
Well, it's key now that they do take the ball and try to eat up the clock, but if you're William Floyd, you have to gamble. They're not going to throw that much. You have to contain, maybe put a spy on Danowski, but you know they're going to run, so I'd be cheating up right now.
Right now, they stay on the ground of Bonagora, and he's hit in the backfield. And a good hit by Mike Kilcullen, number 33, who got in very quickly.
And Mike Kilcullen's having a great game so far. We've talked about him before. We said how he hurt his ankle, but he's coming up, and he's having a huge game for Floyd. And again, he has to get the rest of the defense fired up right now to make the stop, to make the stand, to force Farmingdale in that 3rd and long situation, to maybe have them put the ball in the air and come away with a turnover.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd down and 11. 11:20 to go here in the 4th quarter. Skakandi, flank wide to the right. Everybody else in tight. And rolling left, Danowski. He's got Bonagor out there blocking. We'll cut it back here. And we'll be down as he got to about the 34-yard line.
You know, when you're the lead blocker, you sprint to the corner and you make a hit. Robbie Bonagoro was trying out there. Danowski had to make that happen himself, Barry.
Let's go to Hal Sass on the field.
All right, Barry, you saw Matt Danowski on that run. While the Farmingdale defense was on the field, he went over to the sidelines and they iced down that right shoulder, the shoulder that had the grade 2 separation in the couple of weeks back. He said he was okay. He said the ankle's okay. He said one thing about this turf, it's taken the best of me this year. He's got the ankle injury, the shoulder injury, but he's back out there. He's a trooper.
Hope when he takes his lacrosse scholarship, when he looks for a non-turf field then.
10 men up at the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 3.